All right, guys. So we are here today. AMD is up. Nvidia down to 860s. Tesla at 170. So Tesla's rebounding. Nvidia's dipping down, and AMD is up a little bit. We can look at the queue here. We do have non-farm payrolls today. It's a pretty big day. SPY is actually gapping up a little bit after dropping, pretty significantly yesterday down to 430s. So a small gap up after a big drop yesterday. Will payrolls help or hurt the market today? Chat, we're going to do a poll. Let me put some music on. Again, we do have payroll numbers today. Chat, non-farm payrolls. Unemployment data. Pretty big jobs report day, to be honest. I'm going to put this up at the very beginning of the stream. Remember, I am terrible. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Might be wildly wrong about everything I say. Do not copy me. I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose. You always got to make your own assessment. Let me get this banner up. We'll put the expected number up in chat too. I gotta delete some of these. Let me cancel that. That stays. Nvidia's down today though. Dragging the market down with us. We've had PMI, Powell, a bunch of stuff this week. Jobless claims came out yesterday, so. Low-key, I recently started following. I like that you don't sell BS courses and cover reports. Seems like one of the few honest people in the trading community. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm always honest about it. I try to be at least. I make money from this YouTube channel, certainly. Right, but I guess my idea was I'm gonna tell people the truth and then make money on the back end, and then I'm gonna be honest about look, anytime I plug anything, it usually goes something like, yo, I'm incredibly biased in my sponsor's favor because they pay me money. Most day traders lose. Those are just the facts behind it. Most day traders lose. That's just the reality of it. I'm sure I could probably sell more if I didn't say that, but I would rather be real about it. So. But yeah, I try. I don't sell a course. I don't sell my own service, at least. I don't even claim to be a good trader. We made money yesterday, though. And we're green in stocks on the year. In our TOS account, we're green. We're less green after yesterday, but we're still green. But I appreciate it. Did the Fed talk yesterday go bearish? Is that why the market's down? No rate cut was happening this year. I don't agree with them. I think we're gonna cut rates. But yeah. I guess I just feel like I can make money on the back end and be honest about it. You compare that to where most traders are telling you can get rich, find financial freedom. And I'm not saying you can't, but I'm not the one to give it to you. Does non-farm payrolls data come in higher or lower than expected? That's the poll. I don't think there are 3 Fed chairmen. There's only 1 Fed chairman. The Federal Reserve is the bank that creates policy and decisions other banks. Right? That's the Federal Reserve. They control the federal funds rate, which are short-term interest rates. Eventually, those rates will trickle into long-term rates because of a lot of reasons. They can expand their balance sheet, reduce their balance sheet to control interest rates. Right now, they've been hawkish, meaning they've wanted to keep interest rates high and discourage spending to combat inflation that we got from the 2020 pandemic. After 2020, we brought interest rates down to almost zero. We sent out stimulus checks. Like, we did all these things to bring interest rates down and ultimately contribute to more spending. And one of the consequences of that extra spending to save the economy really was inflation. Prices went up because people spent more, and that's the natural consequence of spending more is inflation, right? So then since then they've been taking the other side of that, where they're trying to kind of bring inflation down through keeping interest rates high and what's called quantitative tightening, which just means they are not buying up and expanding their balance sheet. They're letting their current holdings mature and run off and reducing their balance sheet, and ultimately this will eventually allow banks to lower, or tightening will eventually keep interest rates high through bonds mostly. But yeah, there's president of regional ones, but there's no chairs. Powell's Big Papa, What does the solar eclipse start, Sud? What does this start? All right, chat. All right, chat. Yeah, so market's down. Should we buy the dip? I don't know, man. All right, chat. Let me know if you guys see anything good today. I don't really see anything. Again, non-farm payroll data. I'm looking at the expected numbers here. Non-farm payrolls expected to show today at 212K. Unemployment expected to show at 3.9%. 3.9%. All right, chat. Again, we do have a move over the Q for the SPY. It looks so choppy right now. Like, we're slightly green this morning in pre-market, but it does look pretty freaking sideways that I don't really want to mess with it in that way, you know? All right, so how about some 80s country? We have Fed speakers today. We got Bowman speaking. Yeah, we do have Bowman speakers. Can you look at root stock, please? Sure. Yeah, I got you. I don't know anything about root. It's up a lot though, like a lot. It's up from freaking $10. It's at 871s right now. This thing is up over the last 30 days, like hundreds of percent. I don't know what root is, what this is, why it's moving like it is, but hey. Look at this daily chart. Look at the weekly chart. This is a crazy move. It's going from 330s to 70s, but before that it went from 530s. It's probably a post-split price down to 330s, up to 70s. Kind of a crazy move. It's almost certainly not going to hold its gains. I don't know what this is, but it looks like a pump and dump to me. But maybe I'm wrong. Could be catalyst driven, I guess, as well. Right? If you guys know what this is, let me know, because I don't know why this thing's moving like it is. Chat. You know? NFP data drops at 8:30 and is expected at 112 or 212. Unemployment is expected at 3.9%. Does today's data show higher or lower than expected job numbers? We'll put this up on screen so you can see it. NQ has been nothing but sideways the last few hours. All right, Chad, we almost got 200 people. Root was actually the cheapest insurance I found around here. They were pretty good. So Root is an insurance stock. Moved on good earnings. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I don't mess with realty income. A lot of these are very low float. They might make big moves, but I'm not touching them. Like, I don't need big crazy gains in the market. I just want slow and steady. Not slow, but I just want steady gains, and a lot of these are not going to hold their gains, unfortunately. So I'm hesitant with a lot of these. You know. Can you not hear the music? Oh, my bad. I've been out here rocking out. Let me start the music over here. So my bad, team. Here, let me fix this. Here we go. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I thought I set alerts so my like I want to create a freaking alert here, but it won't let me. Like, let's see, Market Oracle Pro. I want any alert function called on Market Oracle Pro. Notifications. I want it to play a sound. Alright, let's do this thing on this 5-minute chart. Create an alert. Yeah, sorry, James. We're going to play music. I mean, while we got a couple people that might not want the music, a large majority of people want it, you know. And we could ask the chat, music or no music, chat? Besides, I'm not going to always be talking, and so it's probably good to have some extra talking. Music, of course. Music. Yeah, I mean, again, if you don't like the music, you're in the minority. Sorry, brother. Now, looking at our poll number, 58% think the NFP data is going to come in higher than expected. 42% think lower than expected. So, music. Have you invested in Cocoa Futures? No, but I've heard they were going crazy. What do you think gold will go from here? Isn't gold still ripping up? Let me see. Did gold pull back? No, gold still had another green day yesterday. It's over $2,300. So gold is still doing very strong. Very good. Higher payroll numbers probably means weak market, because higher payroll numbers signals more inflation problems. Lower payroll numbers signals less inflation problems, right? So yeah, so it's all about payroll numbers. if payroll numbers, unemployment's probably the same thing. Although I don't think super high unemployment is going to cause a good reaction in markets. All right, chat. Powell had the numbers already on Wednesday, and he didn't seem very hawkish. Am I onto something here? Yeah, so if you're just now answering the music question, you want to, again, I'm not going to say your name, but you're probably a little delayed in the stream, so hit the live button next to the play button. Yeah, I don't know how hawkish Powell's going to be. We'll see. But again, typically I think higher payroll numbers is going to mean worse market reaction because of inflation fears and problems, right? Like more inflation problems are never good, and I think higher payroll numbers signal that. Lower payroll numbers signals less inflation problems. Although I think we want lower unemployment regardless of payroll numbers. But Tesla had a great day yesterday. Went all the way up to 177s, pulling back a little bit to 172 now. Anything else moving that I'm missing here today? Let me look at some other news. Let me check social media. This guy Greg says, my biggest flex is I bought a 3,500 square foot house in the mountains outside Montreal on a lake with 20% down payment, and these are the details, only Canadian dollars. So again, he got it pretty cheap, only 484,000 Canadian dollars, 20-year mortgage, got 2.14%. I'm sure mortgage brokers are saying, hey, why don't you refinance, bro? Like, get out of here. Yeah, Powell's freaking Red action. I'm watching this guy get tackled. Man. Social media will be like, hey, watch this guy get tackled really quick. And then headbutt some other guy. And it's like, okay, you know. It's like, you can't not watch it. This is why our attention spans are bad. Your expectations are supported for the US dollar. I don't expect payroll numbers to come in high and the market fall. I don't expect that. I'm just saying if the numbers do come in high, the market probably will fall. If the numbers come in low, the market will move up and the dollar will fall, right? So I'm not necessarily expecting that what I said is going to happen. I'm just giving you guys, like, if payroll numbers come in really high, I think that's going to be a negative thing for markets and the markets are going to fall. If payroll numbers come in really low, I think it's going to be a positive, optimistic thing in regards to inflation, and the markets are going to rip up and the dollar will probably fall. Although, again, just straight up guessing, to be honest here. No idea what's going to happen. Just kind of putting out. I think the market still very much fears inflation is why I'm saying what I'm saying. But again, I really don't know. Genuinely don't know. It's Friday, guys. I'm pretty excited about it. Dang, would have ride yesterday. Thanks, Neil. Tell me about some more. Gold is gonna bear. I don't know. Gold is up a lot, and so I don't. You know, I don't know what gold is gonna do. I see Snow bouncing back up. Snow making some moves back up. Anything look cheap for a dip buy right now? I guess is the question. I'm probably not gonna buy it before non-farm payroll data, but if you guys see anything, you know, if you guys see anything that looks cheap, bring up the idea. You know, I might like it or dislike it. Bro, this guy, look, I'm sorry, this guy Practical Stocks. That's like if I was freaking, hold on. Look, this guy Practical Stocks that only posts about AMC says, quote, I'm about to drop some shocking numbers on AMC shorts. They do not want you to see. Make sure you are following and have your notifications turned on. This is so effing crazy. Exclamation point, exclamation point. Bro, naming this guy Practical Stocks, where he just sensationalizes AMC and he's been wildly wrong. You know, for whatever reason, X is showing me his stuff. Calling this guy naming himself Practical Stocks is kind of like Bernie Madoff calling himself Reasonable Gains. You know, just the most contradicting name you could ever have. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. He's only pumping AMC. It's a wildly depreciating asset, and all he's really trying to do is grow a following on the backs of confirmation bias, right? Which is just traders who are trying to tell people what they want to hear, which is like, if I'm stuck in AMC and I'm losing my life savings in AMC, I might want to hear that AMC has got some shadiness going on and it's gonna moon one day and it's gonna go crazy. and the shorts are punishing it, but it's gonna go crazy and break $1,000 a share, bruh. Like that might be good. That might be music to my ears, but it's just not true. I think it's been years since the initial squeeze thesis on AMC, and nothing's freaking happened. And again, people like me have been wildly correct about it, where we're just telling you, yo, it's just nonsense. These guys are just telling you what you want to hear. You know, be smart, be resilient to these people, because again, they're legit scamming you. You know, one of the things that I see the most wrong with these younger generations, bro, is that, like, even some financial people, like, you see some financial people, like, you see some, like, financial, like, not really famous, like, pretty small YouTube channel financial people following all these OnlyFans girls, right? Like, dude, like, I'm married, I'm not following any OnlyFans girls. So, but like I feel for them. Like, they realize, like, you realize, like, we could see everything y'all are following, right? Like, you realize, like, on X, everybody can see what you're following. No? You know what I mean? Dow expectations. I don't have a bias, really. Yeah, listen, they can make their money. Yowzer. He said OnlyFans girls are content creators. Listen, they can make their money. I'm not mad at them. Like, listen, live their life. If I was a female, I'm sure I'm going to make my money, you know? Like, honestly, I kind of wish, I'm not going to say I wish it. Yeah, I'm going to be careful what I say. But girl day traders have a huge edge, bro. They grow really, really quickly. I'm kind of low-key jealous of them, just to use the young slang, the low-key slang. I'm kind of jealous, man. Like, they can post 2 videos and grow faster than I can in years. And so maybe I'm just jealous. That's possible for sure. Your expectations are going to affect the Dow positively or negatively? No, not true. I could expect the Dow to rip up. It's not going to make it rip up. Again, simply the Dow, there's too many shares floating around out there for the Dow for me to influence it whatsoever. You know, the first thing you should always learn about trading, guys, is float size and the impact that has on price. You know this because sometimes, like, I've had people come to my streams and tell everybody to buy Apple. They'll be like, yo, if we all buy Apple at one time, Apple can go up. That's not really true. Like, we could all buy Apple at one time and Apple's not going to move really much at all. You know, might move 1 cent. And so you're not going to be able to influence huge stocks and markets. It's just not something that's a reasonable expectation, you know. And I think one of the problems with this AMC GameStop community, Wall Street Bets, all that stuff, is that they bring in a lot of new traders that are naive, that don't really understand. They don't really know better, right? They think that they can manipulate things. They think they can pump up big, blue chip companies, and it's just not happening. What happened to AMC? Nothing. AMC is struggling right now. And again, every time I give this argument, and I'm in AMC right now, like, I'm down in AMC, I'm in it right now, just to put it into perspective. But every time I give this argument, it's actually against AMC. The problem with AMC is a couple things. Number one, I think they need a new CEO. That's the first problem. The second problem is that movie theaters in general, movie studios in general, are much more rigid. They're much more cheap. They're much more frugal. They're much less risk taking. They're much more risk averse right now. They don't like taking risks, and you see that in movies. And so less movies go to theaters, less people go to theaters because of that. You only got a couple big movies a year that drop. Dune is a great movie, you know, big movie, probably did really well in theaters, but Barbie is the other one. But outside of those 2 movies, you didn't really have a lot of people going to theaters now, and that's bad for AMC. You know, and people can argue outside of that. That's the reality of it. Malls aren't, malls are still fine. If you go to a mall, it's pretty packed, at least in my area. Yeah, a lot of stuff dropped heavy yesterday, heavy. AMD, Nvidia, Tesla went up though, so Tesla actually had a pretty good day. So Tesla flying up. Tesla at 170, 180s here. So Tesla making moves, doing well. But yeah, it's bad for movie theaters. Again, you see it with movie studios for series. Like, I love Game of Thrones. I love Stranger Things. Like, I love The Last of Us. I love 1923 and the Yellowstone series. Like, I like a bunch of series. And historically, you used to have a new series season every year. Like, every year you're getting a new series season. And so if you want to watch the next season of Game of Thrones or whatever, you're getting a new one every year. Right? Because what happened was that they used to automatically greenlight the next season and start production on it. It was a little bit more risky to just automatically greenlight it, but for the big series, it was justifiable risk because they almost certainly knew that they were going to be fun. And so they could begin production on it early and other things as well. Another factor is that they're also a lot more high quality now than they were 10 years ago. But the point is, earlier they used to greenlight these series, second season, third season, fourth season, early and allow them to begin production on it. At this point in time, the movie theaters, again, they're much less risky. They're much more risk averse. They don't really want to take big risks. They need the full first season to come out before they even greenlight the second season. It's what you saw with House of Dragon, with Game of Thrones. Like, the first season came out, did great. They didn't greenlight the second season until, almost the end of the first season. And so they didn't begin production on that until much later. And so that caused a big gap in seasons, a big gap in episodes. And that's why we have like a couple year break between seasons. Same thing with 1923 production. It takes a long time to greenlit these new seasons, and it's causing big gaps from season to season in these big shows, these big series. All those shows are really, really good. If you watch all those shows, they're great. All of them are. AMC at 3s. Hey, what's up, Easy? Dude, 3 is now in pre-production. Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, I knew that was going to happen, but... All right, chat. So Nvidia rejecting at the, let me get a timer up. I don't even have a timer up yet, my bad. Nvidia rejecting that 200 EMA. We still got about an hour and 25 minutes or so until non-farm payrolls and unemployment. Unemployment expected at 3.9%, which is what it was last time, I'm pretty sure here. So unemployment expected at 3.9%, what it was last time. 3.8% in a lot of places. So I have it anywhere between 3.8 and 3.9%. Do you guys think the market responds positively to these type of reports here, chat? Let me know. Did these economic reports help or hurt the current markets? We had power earlier this week. Again, we'll see if these markets. We're doing a poll right now. If you want to vote on this poll, we appreciate it. I'll put this link up. You can vote on the poll. There's a link to our Twitter. Give me a follow on Twitter right there if you haven't already. I appreciate the love. Thanks so much. 600% run. I feel we'll have one soon. All right, guys. My channel's done great, man, over the last couple months, dude. I'm super proud of my channel. Let's see if we keep it up. You know, but crazy numbers, crazy views. Yeah, join our Discord. They raised the fast food minimum wage, right, is what it was. New law signed by Governor Gavin last fall requires that fast food chains with 60 or more locations nationwide pay their workers at least $20 an hour. That means the state's 553,000 fast food workers will earn more than the state's $16 minimum wage for all other industries. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I think again, while I do advocate for people making a livable wage, and I don't think anybody should ever get paid, you know, what the current minimum wage in a lot of states are, which is like $7.50, $7.25. That's a ridiculous wage to pay anybody right now. It's just not enough money, you know. Like, make somebody earning for 8 hours of work, you know, $58 a day. You know, for 8 hours of work is an absolutely ridiculous standard, and I think that needs to go higher, right? And again, people will say, oh, well, it's businesses, and I get it, right? The problem is, like, ultimately, you know, the minimum wage has not gone up with, and again, I think, like, I try not to talk about politics because I really am middle ground in a lot of ways, right? Like, I'm sure I talk sometimes and people on one side think I'm like supporting them, and then I talk on other things, and then the people on the other side think I'm supporting them, and vice versa. So I talk on one side one side thinks I hate them, or I'm against them. I talk on something else. Another side thinks that I hate them. And so again, I'm very neutral politically. But I think this minimum wage needs to increase. But at the same time, I think fast food is young people. Like, it's teenagers working first jobs, right? Like, these are like teenagers working their first jobs. Like, fast food employment is not supposed to support families here. It's just not. And outside of managers, but a cashier at Jack in the Box is not supposed to support a family. It's just not, right? Like, that's not what it's meant for. And expecting the business to do that is an unreasonable expectation, in my opinion. And so what this is going to cause is automation to go that much quicker into businesses there. And I think that's a natural consequence of it. But again, at the same time, just to be balanced, I think we should pay people livable wages. I don't think anybody should get paid $7.25 an hour. But $20 an hour for a cashier is pushing it, in my opinion. But whatever, it's all good. These are, to be fair, these are only for big locations, like fast food chains with 60 or more nationwide locations. So, it's not the end of the world. Yeah, there's a bunch of fake pawns in the Discord chat. My bad. I'm having to catch them as they show up. Get booted out of here, son. There's a lot of them. Again, we're never going to message you asking you for anything. Yeah, but I mean, restaurants that aren't huge businesses, it doesn't count for them, Justin. So this rule makes it specifically for fast food restaurants that have more than 20 nationwide locations, right? So it's not more than 60 nationwide locations. It only counts for them if they have more than 60 nationwide locations. And so again, it's not going to hurt small businesses, in that way, like that. These are only for big businesses. This Fed speaker said there may be no rate cuts, and the market didn't like that. He was just trolling, obviously, though. I don't think he was trolling. Right, exactly. That's where it's not gonna make sense. Network. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what gold's already up a lot. Gold's already up a lot. I don't think these speeches are huge. I think the bigger influence is going to be non-farm payrolls and unemployment data coming out. I think that's going to be the biggest move, the biggest influence over all these things. Why not have every job support a family, single income per family like in the old days? Because that's not a reasonable expectation anymore. There's too many people now versus the old days. There's too many people working right now. There's too many people in the world right now. There's billions and billions of people in the world now. And I think that, yeah, even in the old days, right? Like, you had jobs that young people could do, right? These young people jobs were not, I watched an episode of The Wonder Years lately. Like, and again, Kevin gets a job, right? But these jobs aren't meant to support a family. They're supposed to give young people gas money, is what it is. They're supposed to give young people food money, like, they're not meant to support a family. And so requiring businesses to do that is, again, I'm okay with it only because it's super large businesses, but I do believe it's going to push people towards automation, right? Like, throughout all of history, there's always been lesser paying jobs for young people, right? And I think that's what this is. And again, it's super nuanced, and so I do believe people should get paid livable wages, and I don't think $7.25 is enough. I think that's very small, very low. I don't think anybody should get paid that. Anyways, it might be too divisive a conversation, but it's a good conversation to have. Lower than expected is good for inflation, right? I would assume, yeah. So lower than expected is better for inflation. I'm not saying it's good though. Nobody knows how the market's gonna. Nobody knows how the market's gonna move. Nobody knows. Yeah, I mean, one of the things that always helped me was working when I was young. And I remember, like, I used to go, to be fair, like, I remember my first job ever. Like, my first job ever, I worked at a car dealership. No, it wasn't my first job ever. My first job ever, I worked at a fast food restaurant. Probably got paid, $7 something an hour. One of my next jobs, I worked at a car dealership, and it was a friend of my dad's. And I remember, bro, I worked for like 2 weeks straight, 8 hours a day, got up early, started at early in the morning, ended at late at night. And when he paid me, and he was supposed to pay me like realistically for 2 weeks work at the time, right? Like for 2 weeks work at the time, like let's say I was getting paid $7 an hour, $56 a day, 280. It really was 6 days a week. So I should have gotten paid around $700. And I was pretty excited for it when I got my first check, right? But it was a friend of my dad's, and he was kind of doing my dad a favor. And so, like, I remember I got my first check, and for 2 weeks of like full-time work, this man paid me like $120. And I'm just kind of like, what, bro? I never showed up again. I left. My dad was like, John, why'd you quit? I'm like, dude, listen, I'm not complaining, but this man paid me, hold on. This man paid me $1.25 an hour, for 2 weeks straight. Like, if you think I'm showing up at freaking the crack of dawn again to get paid $1 an hour, like, no. No, it was under the table, so like, but still, man. I remember at that point in time, I had it happen a couple times. Anytime you're doing somebody a favor and letting them work, anytime somebody does you a favor and gives you a job when you're young, under the table, there's always risks, right? Like, they're always gonna short you. Yeah, dude, I was heated. Like, I remember I was excited to get my paycheck, bro. I was like, I thought it would be like $300. Even if it was like $300, I would have taken it and showed up to work the next day. But I come to get my check from him, and he prints it out, and it was like freaking, it was like $120. And I remember just sitting there like, what, dude? And then I remember I argued with him. I was like, hey, man, like, I've been coming here every day for 2 weeks, like $120, dude. Like, I've been getting up before the sun's up and leaving at nighttime, dude. Like, $120, bro. Like, Now, granted, this was like early 2000s, but I remember I was mad. I talked to him. I was like, look, dude, yeah, for sure, Andy, 100%. I used to cut grass too. I used to do landscaping. But in the end, one thing that you learn very quickly, right? Like, one thing that you always learn, and this is important if you ever want to start your own business here, chat. Monetize what you're interested in. Like, if you want to know what you're going to go the long haul for, what you're going to genuinely work towards and build and have the knowledge base to succeed in, monetize your passions. Monetize what you're interested in. Like, that is never a bad idea unless you're interested in some terrible things. But monetize your passions. That'll help you succeed in life. It really will. That's what this YouTube channel is monetizing my passions. Yeah, for sure. No, I really do have that outlook, Blaze. Like, I live a very blessed life. I got a beautiful wife, beautiful kids, very fulfilling life, make good money, sitting here talking about the stock market for a couple hours every day. Like, I'm very happy with my life currently, and all of that stuff brought me to this point. And if it was different, I might not be here. And so I'm very grateful to be in the situation I am, for sure. Right, do what you love to do. The other saying about business here, and again, like, this is coming from somebody like, I'm not going to talk about how much I make, but like I'll have to pay the government in taxes probably around 6 figures for this current tax year, in taxes. You know, not super excited about it. You know, I'll probably end up buying a house though, and you know, that'll reduce my taxable income. So maybe not. But like, point is, I've got a couple successful businesses, and you know, most of, like, when I first started, I created a lot of businesses before this. You know, like I had a used book business where I used to go to thrift shops and you know, scan barcodes, and you know, I had a system where I had a Bluetooth barcode scanner, and I would scan books, and I would program the scanner to where it would jingle if the book was worth more than $20, and I would buy it for $1, flip it, sell it, made thousands of dollars a month doing this. And I did this for a while. That's where most of these books in my library come from. And so that business, you know, but eventually that got saturated, but it taught me about margins, you know. You know, I started other businesses. Like, there's a very common saying, 6 businesses fail before 1 succeeds. And so the problem with most people when they try to start a business is that they start one and it fails, and then they give up and they stop and they go back to corporate work or whatever it is. You got to keep trying. Eventually one will stick. Most of the time, at least. I'm not going to say for sure because nobody knows, but probability wise, eventually one's going to stick if you keep doing it. If you give up after your first or second failure, you know, your first couple businesses, you're going to fail, but they're going to teach you a little bit about business and marketing or whatever it is. You know, the other thing is like getting involved with a niche when before it's saturated. You know, if you can do that, you'll have an edge. Anyways, Apple, guys. So we're looking at Apple. Apple, very big turnaround yesterday. I guess this is from the Fed speakers yesterday. You know, the Fed speakers dumped the market. Apple dropped all the way down to almost under 170. Microsoft also had a pretty big turnaround. Meta also had a pretty big turnaround. So most tech stocks dove down yesterday. If we look at like Tesla as an example, Tesla did a very similar thing. Tesla was doing really well. Big turnaround on Tesla yesterday. Again, Microsoft, same thing. Big turnaround. Meta, same thing. Nvidia, you know, same thing. SPY itself, essentially, same thing. So big turnaround yesterday. Although again, we are like, if we look at the highs here, here's a weekly chart. We're gonna get rid of these levels. Here's a weekly chart. You know, we're finally pulling back a little bit yesterday, and it was time to pull back. Like, we've gone up so much since October of last year that it's not an unreasonable expectation that we're gonna come back a little bit. That's not a reasonable thing. Move to Dubai. Yeah, but the problem is everything's more expensive in Dubai. You know, supercars are not even super rare in Dubai. You know. I appreciate it, guys. Yeah. We'll see. I haven't done my taxes for this year yet. I usually get the October extension, so and my taxes from last year are going to be less. But yeah. So here's the SPY. Q's starting to move up, but again, it's so choppy and sideways right now. Nvidia, I think the market's kind of waiting for the non-farm payrolls, unemployment data to release. I think the market's kind of slow because of that. So I think everybody's kind of just sitting here waiting for these data reports to come out. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, chat. Looking at our votes, 64% said higher, 36% said lower than expected here. Bitcoin, where's Bitcoin at? 67.1 thousand. Billionaire Joe Lewis charged with insider trading. He passed insider information from companies in which he was a large investor to friends, including his personal pilots, assistants, romantic partners. Yeah, so again, in 2019, members of the Australian Agricultural Board of Directors told Lewis the company had suffered material losses following flooding. Lewis called his two personal pilots, told them to sell their stock immediately. In 2019, he told his girlfriend in South Korea to purchase shares of Solid Biosciences after learning about an upcoming private investment and clinical trial, according to Unusual Whales. The girlfriend paid $700,000 to purchase 150,000 shares. She sold the shares and made $850,000 in profit, roughly. He told personal assistants working with this yacht, Aviva, to invest in SPAC BCTG. He said the stock could double or triple. It did. Judge says he now faces 3 years probation and pay a $5 million fine. Yeah, interesting. Trading makes you feel stupid regularly. Absolutely does. So, SPY, when Fed member Kashkari said, quote, if we continue to see inflation moving sideways, then that would make me question whether we needed to do these rate cuts at all. 100% agree, and especially if the payroll numbers come in high. So again, here's the quote from Kashkari. Spelling this right. Yeah, that's right. So again, here's the quote from Kashkari. He said, if we continue to see inflation moving sideways, then that would make me question whether we need to do rate cuts at all. Are you in any trades? Yeah, I mean, I'm always in trades, bro. You know, right now we're actually green on the day. We're up. We're up a little bit. Green today in Apple. Gold. Gold's been doing really well. We're in gold. That's nice. Tesla, obviously, we're green. We're green in a bunch of things. Snapchat, we're green. Microsoft, we're green. Green in a couple other things, too. What's your bias on the S&P? Hit the live button, Freedom. You're pretty delayed on the stream, it sounds like. I don't know. My bias on the S&P and the Q and most broad market index funds is that they're all up pretty substantially. And so it's probably time to pull back at least a little bit. Yeah, I'm long. I don't ever hold anything short overnight. That's just not what I do. I might day trade short, but I'm not shorting long term. Shorting anything long term goes against the biggest statistical edge you have in blue chips, which is that they're going to go up over time. So the longer you hold a short position, the more likely you are to lose. And vice versa. Vice versa for longs. The longer you hold a long position, pun intended, I guess, the more likely you are to make money. Bro, I'm telling you, social media is out of control. Okay? Like, what I saw earlier, I saw people commenting on a post about how somebody looks young for being 50. Right? They're like, oh, so-and-so celebrity looks so young for being 50. You know? And then, number one, the picture of the celebrity was obviously a filter. Right? Like, dude, if I got a filter that takes all my wrinkles away, you know... and then the worst part is that people commented underneath them. And they said, I'm 55, look at me. And then they've got a huge filter on their face. And it's obvious, like, bro, if your face is blurry, you're using a filter. Everybody knows you're using a filter. And so, like, social media has gotten crazy to a point in which people are bragging about how young they look, using filters that make them look young on social media. The whole thing's bizarre to me. Like, stop it. Like, age with grace here. Okay? Like, don't put a filter that takes away all your wrinkles to where you're looking shiny and blurry and then brag on social media about how young you look naturally, you know? It's the same people that are like, hey, I wake up with no makeup, and like they got a face full of freaking makeup. Like, stop it. You know? Like, cheers to you guys. It's my morning rant. I'm sorry. Top 3 most filtered YouTuber in the world right now. Do you think news will be bullish or bearish? I don't know. I think the higher the payroll numbers are, the worse the market's going to go. It's not just women, it's men too. A lot of it was men doing it. Like a lot of it was like men being like, look how young I look. You know, I'm 55. You know, and it's like, yeah, you got a filter that takes away all your wrinkles, bruh. Come on now. Option flow is still bullish, which tells me they're expecting a pop. Maybe. I'm not judging you. Use a filter if you want to use one. You know. I'm really not. Like, I can't say I've never used one. But it's only when, like, my wife takes a picture of us and she throws a filter on there sometimes. Like, that's normal, I think. But we're also not talking about, on social media about how young we look. You know, there's no filter here either. Yeah, I had a sponsor reach out to me. I'm not going to say who it is, but I honestly thought about it. I have to go check the site because I had a sponsor reach out to me, and they run a site on betting on derivatives, specifically like they're CFTC regulated, but you can trade inflation, Fed interest rates, government shutdowns, hurricanes, other type of derivatives. Like, if you don't know what derivatives are, right? Derivatives are actually how Michael Burry shorted mortgages in 2008, right? Derivatives basically means that you're creating a contract for something, right? Typically something that is not standard in investing, right? Like, I could buy the SPY or whatever. A derivatives contract would be like, yo, if I want to bet tomorrow that it's going to rain, you know, if I want to invest in odds of rain tomorrow or whatever, that's a derivatives contract. You know, a lot of the time you make them with banks or whatever, but this is one of them that allows you to bet. The problem with this, though, right, that I'm thinking here is that, like, betting on federal funds rates are, like, betting on federal funds rates are, like, federal funds rate decisions are almost always what's predicted. So I'd like to see the odds. So unless the odds are just super unfavorable, like 90-something%, I don't know, man. Let me go to this. I'm looking at the site. Okay, so yeah, that is what it is. So Fed meeting next month. 0 basis point hike. 92% chance. You could bet 93 cents. I mean, I honestly, but it's 93 to 9. I guess that's fair. It's an interesting site. I'll tell them that. But again, I don't really need any more sponsors, so. No, young people can tell, for sure, Yowzer. Yeah, I used to be like, yo, I'm going to judge people for going gray if they use Just for Men or some type of hair dyeing product. Bro, you better believe if I start going gray, I'm going to have the brownest hair in the world right now. Top 3. You know, I'm going to Just for Men it up if my hair starts turning gray. My hair's not gray at all yet, though. I'm in my 30s, but my hair's still doing all right. My dad's still got pretty, you know, like he's got some gray. It's not too bad. All right, chat, we still got an hour. If you end up losing your hair, please don't do comb overs. I don't think I got that problem, bro. Like, if anything, my hair is still really, really thick. You know, and I was scared my whole life. Like, my hairline's still pretty good, to be honest, for my age. I was scared my whole life, right? Like, they say balding comes from your mother's father. My mom's dad was bald at 25. Like, straight bald, I'm pretty sure, at 25. And so, as a young person, I was always panicking. Like, yo, I need to propecia it up. And if I do start losing hair, I'm gonna propecia it up. But apparently I got my dad's hair. My dad still got a full head of hair at 70, you know? So apparently I have his hair, because him and I's hair are both exactly the same. Like, I have curly hair, he has curly hair. My hair is a little bit more curly than his is. But like, I'm not losing my hair at all, which I'm great. My crown is full too. Like, my hair's still very, very thick somehow. But if I was losing my hair, I would propecia it up. But again, bald is beautiful. I'm not judging you if you're bald either. You know, live your life. Some people look better bald. Yeah, Kashkari, dude, just tanked the market, man. It's surprising how much Kashkari dropped the market. Look at this huge dip. So Kashkari just dumped the market here. What a crazy drop. Just this, again, you could read it here. If we continue to see inflation moving sideways, then that would make me question whether we need to do those rate cuts at all. Honestly, I agree with him. I genuinely agree with him. Look at Apple and a bunch of other stuff spike. Like, I agree with this dude. I agree. I think it's too early to cut rates. I think that, you know, they're getting a lot of pressure from real estate people to cut rates, but it's not time yet. It's just not time yet. We got inflation problems if we do this. Like, if we cut rates early, we're gonna have inflation problems. You know what I mean? Like, the Federal Reserve, their job is to keep a balanced economy. And I think we're rushing to cut rates too early. I think if we cut rates, we're going to bring interest rates down. People are going to start spending more because interest rates are down. And that's going to cause inflation to spike again. I think we need to get inflation a little bit more stable before we start cutting rates. You know, and if we do cut rates, it should only be once or twice this year. I don't think we should cut it 3 times like a lot of people are saying. I hope we don't. Again, the only reason we should pivot to cut rates is if we start to see massive swings in the economy on the downside, right? Like, if we start to see big downward pressure in the economy, like unemployment spikes, jobs are down too much or whatever, then fine, cut rates, like, protect the economy. I understand that. But outside of that, which we're not certainly in, GDPs have been growing, jobs have been strong, the labor market's been strong. You know, I don't think we should cut rates early. I think we should wait until at least later this year. And if we do, I think we should only do it once or twice. What do you guys think? Should we cut rates this year, guys? Do you guys think we should? Again, I think it's going to cause inflation problems if we do it too early. And if we look at the expectations here for rate cuts, if we look at the expectations, it's still 94 to 6.5%. So again, basically for the next meeting in May, 6.5% of people thinking we're going to cut. 94% of people thinking that we're going to continue to pause, do no rate hike, do no rate cut, no rate hike. 94% of people think we're going to pause. 7% of people, 6% of people think we're going to cut. 25 basis point cut. I don't think we're going to cut, but it might be confirmation bias. I hope we don't cut. I don't think it's a good move if we do. I think the only way we should cut is if we're really genuinely fearing a recession or depression, and I don't think we're doing that now. Only if inflation goes down a few more months in a row, hopefully. Yeah, for sure. I agree. I think that's fine. If we see inflation under control. So we got over 600 people here live here, chat. Over 600 people. We do have non-farm payroll numbers today. Was the direction for the NASDAQ 100 on NFP? I'm not sure what the Q or the NASDAQ 100 is going to do on payroll data. Depends on what the number shows up as. If the numbers show up high, I think the market's going to go down, and vice versa. If the numbers show up low, I think the market's going to go up. But I might be wrong there. Just honestly, just straight up guessing. I'm guessing of this because of fear of, again, if the market fears rate cuts, or the market fears no rate cuts, I guess. I don't know. That could mean the opposite of what I just said, though. They are not going to fully dump the markets until sometime shortly after elections. Yeah, election years are usually better, regardless of who it is, what side. Yeah, they say it comes from your mother's father, but obviously my side shows that that's not always true. Again, my mother's dad was bald at 25, yet I've got a full head of hair in my 30s. My dad... Again, I have my dad's hair. I'm very lucky to have my dad's hair. My dad still has a full head of hair at 70, so very lucky. A lot of my friends lost their hair too, but it's all good. Again, bald's beautiful. I'm supported. Nvidia moving over the VWAP here. Again, Apple spiking up to 170s. The Q moving up a little bit as well here, chat. Honestly, it's a crazy time right now, and I recognize that I sound like an old person. Like, get off my lawn. Like, I recognize that. But how the heck are mullets back in style right now, bro? Everywhere I look, I see a young kid with a mullet. Now, to be fair, I think baseball and sports have helped mullets become back in style, but mullets are stylish again, guys. Mullets. What a crazy world we're in right now. A crazy world. Listen, live your life. I'm not judging you. Top 3 biggest mullet hater in the world right now. But live your life, I guess. But mullets are back in style, chat. I think we had to have like a generation pass it. But yeah. Mullen. Should we buy Mullen? Yeah, hopefully Daphne. That's rough. That's sad. I know some people like that, unfortunately. It's genetics, unfortunately. Morgan Wallen, yeah. Business in front, party in the back. Hey. All right, guys. So again, tech started to move up. Apple moving up a little bit as well. We're at 437s. Nvidia at 865s. Apple at 169s, 170s almost. So we're starting to see a spike in tech. We'll see if we hold up here. Looks strong. I hope it holds. We're going to start day trading a little bit too here, Chad. So we are going to day trade today. We did make a little bit yesterday. I'm pretty sure we did. Yeah, we made some money yesterday. Not a lot, but we made a little bit. So But yeah, we almost got around 700 people here. We still got 40 minutes. I'm going to buy this dip. So again, we're going to buy this dip here in the NASDAQ 100. Let's see if this treats me right. Put this way down here. Definitely not treating me right now, but we're going to scale into this. 5 contracts. Yeah, I told I was at a crawfish boil last weekend for the holiday, right? Like, I'm from Louisiana, so we do crawfish boils every year. We do crawfish boils. I can't always make it to them, but you know, we ate some good crawfish. I ate a lot of crawfish last weekend. Anyway, so yeah, we were at this crawfish boil, and I got a bunch of young cousins that are like young. They're like 15, 20, you know. They're young people, right? And I was telling them, I was like, look, y'all's generation copies directly off of my generation. You know, y'all's generation copies off of 90s, 100%, without question. Like, y'all are obviously inspired by the 90s. And so as long as y'all can admit that, I'm okay. But y'all are wearing baggy pants. Mullets are cool. You know, neon is in style again, right? Like, these are all 90s trends. 90s trends. Like, grunge is kind of there. Baggy jeans, baggy holy jeans. They're now stylish. And so again, these are 90s trends. These are all 90s trends. You know, and style is cyclical to begin with. All right, so we're in this. We're about flat. Let's see if we get a pop up here. I'm hoping this level can hold us support. Again, style is cyclical to begin with anyway. But we'll go ahead and take 8 contracts here. Oh, we got 9. That's okay. I mean, I've got a 15-year-old daughter, so I mean, a lot of her friends are wearing neon. I'm gonna put this up over here. All right, so we're spiking up a little bit. We're slightly green here. I'm trying to make a little bit more now. I feel like I gotta take a risk here with my trading. Not a risk, but like, I gotta take some larger trades. I made some money yesterday, made some money today. We got a cushion in this account. We got to swing, I think. No way rate cuts are in May. I mean, it's low probability for a cut in May. Like, well, probably not. I'm gonna make it 1 more contract just to make it 10. So I can get out of 5 contracts each and limit my risk. But yeah, it's not super probable for a cut in May. I would think a cut's gonna be in June, July, is my guess. Yeah, no, you're good, Alex. It's all good, brother. You know. I know there's different generations that are into different things. Alright, so I'm trying to hold it here because Nvidia broke over the VWAP and we're now pulling back to it. And we are getting punished here on this trade. We're not really that bad. A little spike up. I'm going to take half of this off here and just protect it. And then if we dip more, we're alright. Yeah, I don't think we're going to cut. Yeah, I got rid of the 300k one acre. I mean, I lost it. I took a big swing, but it was almost intentional because I think in terms of like the most favorable ones, I think it's 50 to 70k are the best ones in my opinion. See, now we're green on this, so big downwick fake out here. That's good, I guess. We're gonna go ahead and cut 2 of these off. We got 3 contracts left. Pretty much flat here on this trade, which I guess is the ideal move. Probably sounds like one Yusuf, but I don't know for sure. I don't know who that is. But if you're using this to shut the subtly plug whoever it is, I'm gonna delete that just because sometimes what bots will do is they'll come here and they'll say, hey, is this person a scammer? And then they're just trying to get their name out here and get people to Google them. So I'm gonna delete that message just to make sure that's not what he is. Alright, so we did run up in Nvidia. You know, the thesis of the trade worked, but I mismanaged this trade a little bit. Like we were buying Nvidia because we had this volume weighted average price level here, and we thought we would bounce there, and we did, right? We did bounce exactly at that spot. But yeah, NFP buy or sell, I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna go up or down or sideways for this. Yeah, Doc Martens are back too, bro. Not only Doc Martens, you got the little Doc Marten slide-ons. That's what actually started me telling my cousins this, is because one of my cousins was in Doc Marten slide-on shoes, whatever they're called. I can't remember what they're called, right? But he was in Doc Martens. And so I see young people wearing baggy pants, Doc Martens, neon, freaking mullets. I can't help but be like, yo, like, y'all are dressing like the 90s, you know? Alright, we're gonna take a little bit more off there, lock that in. It's all cyclical, though. It really is. Okay. Yeah, he's probably a scammer, Yusuf. I don't know him for sure, though. Yeah. AK sounds like a scammer. Yeah, we probably lost a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking. Okay, I might be wrong, though. I don't know. Okay, so I don't know if this guy's a scammer or not, to be honest. All right, so we're down. We lost a little bit of money on this trade for sure. We lost like 40 bucks. But yeah, just to put this into perspective, I don't know about Alex G. Never really heard about him. He doesn't look like a scammer, but I really don't know. I don't know what he's selling, what he's doing. I would be very careful in general, but again, I'm going to clarify. I don't know if he's a scammer or not. I really don't know. Yeah, I would just be very careful. Like big mentors sell a dream, and we try to just be honest about it. You know, again, a lot of the time it's also like a Dunning-Kruger effect, where the people who are the most outspoken in terms of like criticizing other people's trades are usually people who are not actually making money in the market, right? And so there is like a very, very consistent Dunning-Kruger effect in traders, where the people who are the most critical, the most vocal about criticizing other people's trades or systems or whatever, usually know the least. But it's, you know, it depends. It really, as is most, it depends. Alright, so we got a big turnaround, a big drop. I guess we got about 740 people here. We still got almost 40 minutes left. Okay, well, yeah, that's good. AK, I don't know, bro. Like I said, Mamba FX. Yeah, listen, you got some people that are just obviously full of crap, dude. Like, I'm not gonna mention anybody specifically, but like, you got a lot of people that are just like, look. Yeah, like, you can look at some of these people and realize they're not very smart. You know what I mean? Like, you can look at some of them and just realize they're not very smart. And again, in the end, like, anybody that claims to start with a very small amount of money and get rich. Again, like the easiest way to put it is this, okay? If somebody was really making money like that in Forex and crypto and anything, you would see their broker statements every single month. If they sell courses or mentorship programs, you would 100% see their broker statement every single freaking month. Why? Because that's the best credibility thing you could ever freaking do, is show somebody your broker statements every month. If you're really making 20K a month, 30K, 40K, 50K a month trading, show your broker statements, right? Like, you'll be able to sell courses like hotcakes, bro. Like, it'll be so easy to sell courses. You know why you don't see a lot of people showing their broker statements every single month? Because most of them are just cherry picking the 1 month they were profitable. And then they're making a video like, broker statements are showed, bruh. It's like, yeah, you're showing them 1 month out of 12. What does that mean? That means that's the 1 month they probably made money. The rest of the months don't look like that. And so again, most of them are making money selling courses, right? And I can't even get mad. Listen, if they want to make their money selling courses, as long as they don't claim to make money, as long as they don't claim to live completely off of purely their trading profits, right? Which I certainly don't claim. I'm not telling anybody I live off of my trading, because I don't. I make way more money from this YouTube channel than I ever do trading. And that should be a reasonable expectation to a certain extent once you grow. Like, again, we're almost hitting a 500,000 views a month, right? So like any social media page doing that is gonna make more money than they are in a lot of other things, you know. But yeah. $10.99s, yeah. I mean, if they want to, I don't want people to do anything. Yeah, I don't really trade Forex. So this right side is toss, thinkorswim. And again, this is coming from somebody like, I made money last year in stocks. I'm up this year, 4 figures plus in stocks. So, I mean, I'm green, you know, in stocks as a trader. You know what I mean? But I certainly don't live off of it. It's not enough to live off of, you know. Yeah, I'd rather just be real about it, make my money on the back end. But bro, we don't care about his broker statements. Then you're caring about the wrong thing. I don't care how much effort anybody puts out. I don't care what kind of, like, how much effort he's putting out in his courses. I don't care about any of that stuff. Right? Like, again, you might, and that's fine. If you like them, good for you, man. I'm not talking about anybody in specific either. I'm not, you know, again, I'm not mentioning anybody or attacking anybody specifically. What I'm saying is that if somebody's trying to sell you a course for thousands and thousands of dollars, you better make sure they're legit. And again, it's hard to do. If you think one broker statement once every year is justifiable, you know, live your life, man. I'm not against you, but you know, I don't know. I don't personally sell courses because I'm not claiming to be even a good trader, an expert, or anything like that. So my background, David, like, I'm a real estate agent as well as like a software developer with mostly front end web development with like JavaScript, React Native, which is like mobile React, mobile development. So my background is that, and I still have my real estate license. Yeah, Forex is crazy. It's a much larger audience too. Like, it's much bigger. But there's so much red tape at Forex. I don't think cuts until Q4. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but I think sometimes, like what happens to people is that people like end up idealizing these big personalities on YouTube, and that's fine. Like, I get it. But like, I've met a lot of people that idealize these mentors, right? And they treat them like they're celebrities, and most of these guys are full of crap, right? Like most of these guys are most of these guys are not really making money like that from their trading. They're making their money from selling courses, right? And again, it becomes so like their customers become so attached to them, you know, and it's such a strong thing, like confirmation bias. Like if I've spent, like an example is this, is if I've spent months or years following a specific trader and they're telling me they're profitable and they're telling me that I should buy their course and buy their mentorship program, and if I take that leap and get talked into buying their course and mentorship program, even if there's some red flags there, right? Like human nature with confirmation bias, it wants to confirm what they want the truth to be, right? And in that situation, they want the truth to be, hey, this is justifiable purchase. This guy's really doing it. He's really making money, you know, blah, 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 right? Human nature ignores red flags so that they can believe what they want to be true. But the problem is that causes people to never look at it objectively. Like if I buy a course for $5,000, I could take that course or read that course, and that course could be total crap. But I've just spent $5,000 on it. So my brain's going to be like, yo, this is the greatest course you've ever taken. You know, I might even go around Misery Loves Company and tell everybody else how great this course is, even though I know deep down the course is total crap. Right? Because I'm trying to justify that expense. It's one of the same reasons you see people running around pushing pyramid schemes and multi-level marketing schemes. And so I think people can get talked into stuff really easily. And I think people ignore a lot of red flags if they want something to be true. And I think that is very, very out there in trading, like without question. Again, it's one of the reasons I tell people, look, I'm not an expert. I'm not selling a course. I'm not selling a service. I have sponsors, and I admit my bias for those sponsors completely, because I don't want to be another person like that, manipulating people. I'd rather just be honest and still make money, you know? Yeah, I'm pretty flat right now in terms of my like short-term trades. I'm in some swing trades and investments, but short-term trades are pretty flat. The Q did bounce right at that level, that 200 EMA VWAP level right here. So I think we might have some support right here. But again, non-farm payrolls and unemployment drop pretty soon here, chat. So yeah, be ready here. We still got 25-30 minutes left. Yeah, but if you're buying picks, you know, AK, again, you're probably getting scammed. No offense, dude. Even though it may not match your emotional constitution. Yeah, well, everybody trades differently, man. Like, I am much more of like a skeptical short-term trader. You know, so I get in and out quick, have a very break-even risk-to-reward ratio. I try to look for a high accuracy setup. And that might be wildly different than somebody else. And so if I sold a course on how to trade, you know, a lot of people that buy it are going to be like, they're not going to be suited towards that type of system. They're going to be more suited towards holding things long-term and all these different things. So it's not universal either. Like, trading styles aren't universal. And most people are going to lose. It doesn't matter what course you take, who you follow, what mentor you have. Almost all day traders are going to lose money. And that's just the reality behind it. You know? And so you got to go into it with that understanding and just trade small in the beginning. If you genuinely think that AK, again, you're being misled by mentors, brother. Again, no offense. It's all love, dude. Like, we could agree to, maybe I'm wrong. But if you think that it's impossible to be profitable without paying for a mentorship program or without a mentorship in general, again, I think that's way too definitive and way too, I think you're trying to sell mentorship programs, or maybe you bought a bunch of mentorship programs and you're trying to justify it. But it's all love here, like I said. We're going to change the topic. Symmetrical algo is playing games. What's up, Sam? You think SoFi will crush earnings? I hope so, man. I know earnings season starts. Earnings season starts this month. We've got Tesla, Netflix. Big bank earnings are next Friday, right? So that's the real big earnings that start. Big bank earnings, JP Morgan, and a bunch of other ones next Friday. Yeah, it's all good, AK. Like I said, bro, we can agree to disagree about the mentorship programs. It's all good, brother. It's all love, man. It's all good, dude. I wish you the best. I hope you make money. You know, truly do. You know. I don't know what the market's gonna do. I think higher payroll numbers will make the market go down. Most likely, lower payroll numbers will make the market go up. But again, not definitive. It could go either way. Expectations for payroll numbers are 212. Unemployment rates expected at 3.8 to 3.9%. What do you guys think the payroll numbers are going to come in at, higher or lower? Let me look at a poll. We did do a couple polls live here. 63% think higher, 37% think lower. And again, with all that said, with that last conversation, remember, I am terrible, have no idea what I'm talking about, may be wildly wrong about anything I say. Content is for entertainment purposes only, and my experiences, wins or losses in trades may not be conducted in real time or on stream. I might trade off stream. Do not copy me. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I might be wildly wrong about everything. Understand CFTC 4.41, hypothetical or simulated performance results of certain limitations, unlike actual performance and all that good stuff. Understand these rules, chat. Also, if you haven't already, check out one of my sponsors. I do have sponsors. I'm super biased in their favor because they pay me money, and I'm always honest and transparent about that. One of my sponsors is a company called Apex. What they do is they give you a demo and they test your skill. The base one's only 30 or 35 bucks a month, and if you pass this test, you get funding from a proprietary firm, or what's like a proprietary firm. Again, if you look at this, 80% off right now if you use my link. They have packages from 25K all the way to 300K. They've got static drawdowns. They've got all this good stuff. And again, what they're going to do is they're going to give you a demo. And again, I'm going to go back to the point I made earlier. Almost all day traders lose money. Almost all day traders lose money. It doesn't matter what course you take, who you follow, who your mentor is. Almost all day traders are going to lose money. And so if you put up thousands of dollars yourself, you're probably going to lose it. Instead of doing that in the beginning when you're trying to learn how to day trade, a funded account program makes way more sense. Because again, your risk is limited. If I buy this one right here, it's 30 or 35 bucks a month. They're going to give me a $25,000 demo account, and my profit goal is going to be 1,500 bucks on that demo. My trailing drawdown is going to be 1,500 bucks. And if I pass that test, I get 25K in funding with a 90% split. And so once you're funded, you're keeping most of your money anyway. You also get to keep your first 25K in profit regardless. But if I lose, I'm only out 30, 35 bucks. So I'm still learning how to trade. It's not just a regular demo account. There's still some pressure. I'm still risking something, but I'm lowering my risk versus risking thousands of dollars myself, right? And in the futures market, you can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, basically the SPY and Q price action, gold, some currencies, and there's no PDT rule. Patterns are very similar to blue chip stocks. And so again, you can get 80% off right now. You can get the max discount if you use my coupon code BT, beginner trading BT, all one word. Again, remember, they are a sponsor of mine. I'm super biased because they pay me money. You know, check everything with them, vet everything with them. But I do think it's a lot cheaper than putting the money up yourself in terms of learning how to day trade. So check that link out. Great way to help support the channel. Yeah, good day to you, sir. You know, just to put it into perspective, this guy's complaining, but this is the first plug we've done all day today. We've been streaming for almost 2 hours now. And so for a channel that he says is, quote, just an advertisement, that's the first plug we've done all day. You know, one plug in 2 hours, I don't think it's that bad. But again, hey, listen, people are mad. He probably sells courses or something. Or probably, maybe he bought up a bunch of courses. When I talk about those people that get wrapped up in those courses, my guy's probably one of them, to be honest here. Cheers to him. Yeah. Again, the only thing that'll make somebody this upset is somebody that ended up doing that. Like, so he's mad because he knows he got wrapped up in some mentorship program or something like that. Top 3 plugs in the world right now. Again, if people are really mad at me for plugging things, right? Like, if people are really this upset, I'm the only person that I know on YouTube that is like, yo, I am biased. They pay me money. I'm biased, right? I literally say that before plugs. I'm the only person I know that does that, to be honest, either. And so, if you're still upset about plugs, of course, like in the end, I'm here to make money. And again, that's an obvious, understandable thing, I think. I'm not spending 4 hours a day streaming, which is not fun sometimes. I love streaming, though. But I'm not spending 4+ hours a day doing this for nothing, right? Like, everybody's here to make money. That's what most of YouTube is, and that's okay. Like, that's okay. Top 3 hair plugs in the world right now, dude. Hey, top 4 in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, again, I think most day traders lose money. And so I think most day traders are going to lose on Apex, you know, because most day traders lose regardless of whether they're on Apex or think or swim. But it's a lot cheaper to lose on Apex, you know. And again, we're green in equities today, mostly on Apple. What else? Snapchat, we're green. Can you stream at 2K plus sometimes in the future? What do you mean? Is that like higher quality? No, it's only commodities X, and so it's S&P, NASDAQ, Dow. You can trade the Russell, gold, silver, some currencies, right? So it's a yeah, man. I mean, realistically, being on YouTube is very strange, right? What's your prediction for the non-farm payrolls? I don't know. Like, again, I talked about this before, and I think some of these people are probably the same people, right? But we had one guy, like, insult my wife, right? And then when I respond negatively to that, he logs out of one account and then logs into another account and then criticizes me for responding negatively similar to this, right? And so the haters really play both sides sometimes. They'll insult me, and then when I respond negatively, they'll log into another account and be like, hey, bro, you should just ignore the haters, right? Well, really, it's the same person hating versus criticizing the response to it. And I know it was him because he was a very small YouTuber, and the person that was criticizing my response was subscribed to him, and the likelihood of that is just very, very low. So I guess the point is, YouTube can be freaking weird, you know? And maybe I'm just venting. Maybe this is therapeutic for me, you know? Y'all won't tell anybody, right? You know? Nobody will know about it here. We only got 1,000 people here live. Cheers. Hate is great. It helps John elevate. Bars. You know, when I'm older, right? I'm in my 30s. So before they've said bars, they said mixtape coming soon, right? Young people have named it bars because I don't think mixtapes are a thing anymore. All right, so NASDAQ breaking under this big level here. So the NASDAQ is breaking under this big level. Like, so we're trying to bounce. Yeah, and I know this guy is definitely somebody that's been banned before that's creating other accounts. People get weird and obsessive. Yeah, that's something else, man. People are strange. Keep trades closed on due days. Y'all be careful. Again, we got non-farm payrolls dropping in like 15 minutes. So again, this may, if you are trading, volatility comes from this report. I personally think if we have larger than expected numbers, we're going to react negatively from it because of inflation problems. At the same time, though, the market absolutely dumped yesterday because Fed's Kashkari, you could read it below, said if we continue to see inflation moving sideways, then that would make me question whether we need to do rate cuts at all. So again, I guess that might make me think that the market could fear economic slowdown. And if that's the case, lower payroll numbers might make the market go up. I don't know. I tend to think higher numbers will make the market react negatively. But let me know what you think in chat right now. You're unique in your style, so haters will come. Keep jumping over them. Hey, thanks so much, man. John, please don't forget to shut it down if the likes don't get where they should. People are weird for sure. Good morning. Was it that? Did he speak yesterday? I don't know, Iris. Whoever was here yesterday, the vet said my dog has a bacterial infection. He's on antibiotics. All good. Sorry to hear that, man. I hope your dog gets better. The Apple could be affected by the news, or why do you choose Apple and Nvidia on screen? Well, these are two. So here's the NASDAQ 100, right? So this is one of the big index funds that basically is the whole market, which has mostly been sideways today. We're gapping up a little bit, but we dropped a lot yesterday, right? So we're gapping up a little bit. We dropped a bunch yesterday. These two stocks, Nvidia and Apple, influence the market heavily. And so when I trade, if Nvidia makes a big drop, sometimes there's a lag into the NASDAQ, right? So if Nvidia drops like this, as an example, sometimes, and again, it's not always, but sometimes eventually we'll get a lagging move in the NASDAQ in a similar way. And so if I see Nvidia dump, I can short the NASDAQ and catch a lagging move sometimes. Not always. It's not going to work 100% of the time. Again, don't copy me. But that's why I watch Nvidia, because Nvidia really has been the most influential stock in the market over the last year. So Nvidia is one of those big moving stocks, I guess is the point. Yeah, for sure. The work talk was part of it. That's probably true. Higher is bad, lower is good. I think so, but again, I'm just guessing here. Yeah, I'm not trading non-farm payroll news. I think that's too risky. Haters are just jealous that you have no boss and make more dough than them. Most of them are people who have tried to make a YouTube channel themselves, don't get enough viewers, and so they just turn into weird, obsessive haters. That's truly what it is. Like, the most hateful people I ever run into are people that have tried to do what I'm doing and failed. And so then they're just huge freaking haters. It's funny, but, you know, you got to pity them a little bit. Doge has endless supply. I don't know about Doge, man. Doge doesn't have the most utility, I think. But I'm bullish in it. I want it to go up. I hope Doge goes up just for the meme community. You know, meme stocks have been going, or meme cryptos have been going crazy. Cam and I talked about it in our last crypto show, how a lot of meme stocks have spiked over the last, 3 months, man. The Bitcoin bull run is back, and that's caused a lot of meme volatility. And if we look at Bitcoin here, Bitcoin's back down today, but it's still around 67,000, very strong. But again, this has spiked up a lot of meme. Like, Bitcoin bull runs typically, like the last one we saw Doge, Shiba Inu, a bunch of other meme coins. Now we're seeing, cat with hat, dog with hat, or whatever it is. Not cat with hat. Now we're seeing dog with hat, cat coins, all these different meme cryptos move now. So it's an interesting market to watch for sure. Yeah, election years usually have good markets. I remember the first time I came across your channel at 10,000 sub mark. Glad to see you're growing and doing well. Hey, thanks so much. We appreciate it. Human psychology at its finest. Yeah, it's weird, man. People are weird. Hey, thanks, P. Yeah, it's all good, man. Hating on people who put in work and are successful is very strange to me. Yeah, people are weird. It's cat in the hat. Is it really? Is that the crypto again? I don't really follow crypto meme coins. I know dog with hat, which is WIF symbol, had a crazy run. Although, again, I'm always usually nervous to diversify into those because I think the risk is very high. All right, chat, we got 9 minutes. We got about 1,300 people live here for non-farm payroll data. Be ready, chat. Be ready. Hopefully we get some good movement here. Chat, hopefully we get some good movement. Does Colby Covington ever actually get in the ring with Ian Machado? I don't know, bro. I think I got to give it to Colby if he fights Ian, though. Colby, is as much as he seems to be a terrible person, he's got some skills. Like, his wrestling and jiu-jitsu skills are on point, man. And as much as I want him to lose, I think he beats Ian. You know, Ian's not the most liked dude either. But yeah. John is an honest dude. That's why I follow him. He's straightforward how he makes his money. That's good enough for me. I try to be honest. Again, people are going to complain regardless, right? Like, if I tell people I'm not an expert and I'm biased and I plug sponsors, they're going to say, oh, this dude plugs too much sponsors and doesn't provide content. If I sell a course or, you know, whatever, they're going to complain, oh, he's selling courses. Either way, you can't please everybody. Non-farm employment change sell. Yeah, I mean, non-farm employment data came in way higher than expected. So non-farm employment data came in way higher than expected by about like 40 or 50,000, you know. But again, you might listen, you might hear the prelim non-farm data come out Wednesday and think that payroll data is automatically going to come in higher than expected. That's not always true. I have seen instances, because prelim payroll numbers, which are the non-farm employment change numbers, always come out a couple days before the actual payrolls. And I've seen it where non-farm employment data comes in way lower than expected, and then non-farm payroll data comes in way higher than expected, right? So they can vary in terms of higher or lower, just because the employment change data comes in at one thing doesn't mean the actual payroll data is going to come in a similar way, if that makes sense. And so it's something to be weary of. It's almost impossible to predict what these numbers are going to show, and if you take big size positions ahead of them, you're taking a massive risk. I would more so choose to just be reactive to this economic data and not go crazy. Just try not to be as try not to gamble as much, you know. So if the government makes rates go down, is it good for markets? Well, lowering the federal funds rate is lowering interest rates eventually to consumers. Like the federal funds rate are short-term rates. So when you lower them, eventually it's going to trickle into long-term rates as well. And so by lowering the federal funds rate, eventually that's going to mean lower interest rates to consumers, lower mortgages, lower mortgage rates, lower auto financing rates and stuff like that. And what that allows consumers to do is spend more. And so when interest rates are lower, consumers spend more, and thus it stimulates the economy. And so cutting the federal funds rate means a more stimulated economy eventually. And I guess that's what investors and traders are optimistic for, is that influx of economic spending, if that makes sense, right? So cutting the federal funds rate means making spending higher, but again, also potentially inflation problems, because what's the consequence of more spending is inflation. The Fed also is supposed to end QT, which is quantitative tightening. It's essentially, the quantitative tightening is just the Fed not buying up bonds and letting their current holdings mature and expire, reducing their balance sheet. This will eventually lower, by doing QT, it keeps interest rates high. If they end QT, it'll also be an optimistic sign regarding interest rates, and again, that might contribute to more spending, but ultimately more inflation. So it's nuanced, but yeah. Try not to gamble as much, sir. This is a casino? Oh, it depends. You want to be the house. Hey, thank you for the MAD $20. I don't know how much that is. It's $2. But hey, thank you so much. I appreciate the dono. Euro, US dollar. I don't really trade Forex. I appreciate the donation, but I don't really trade Forex, brother. But I appreciate it. Thanks so much, B. Yeah. I mean, the guy earlier acted like I don't cover anything, but like, dude, I cover this economic data faster than everybody else, dude. We mostly talk about economics here. And again, we're going to cover this data in 4 minutes, chat. We'll have probably 2,000 plus people here watching it. So again, y'all hit that subscribe button. I'm going to throw it in sub-only mode. To be honest, sub-only mode helps get rid of some of these weirdos that are just kind of obsessive. So hey, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. We appreciate it. We do have some Fed members speaking today as well here. We got Bowman speaking at 12:15. I don't see any other speakers today. We got Barkin speaking at 9:15. anybody else. Collins is speaking right now, but very low influence. I mean, Lou, Fed Collins speaking now too. Very low influence. Not a big move. That's why they will cut. They don't care about the economy, just the market. Yeah, I mean, DA, I don't know if you necessarily understand. So cutting rates will cause a stronger economy. DA. Not a weaker one. You know, it might make, again, a stronger economy makes inflation worse. You know, the more people that are buying, the more businesses raise prices. So the stronger economy equals more inflation problems, right? But a stronger economy. Keeping interest rates high keeps pushes the economy down, but ultimately benefits inflation more, right? So you got, you know, I hope that makes sense. All right, guys. Hey, we got 3 minutes here, chat. 3 minutes. Yeah, we got the FOMC minutes next week as well, along with CPI, PPI, all that good stuff. So, all right, so we are balancing here. We'll see what the market shows up. I'm gonna put up some other stuff here, so we're gonna keep the Q up here. I'm gonna leave a video. I'll put the Q in the middle. We'll put gold up on the right side here, gold up on the right, and then we'll put the dollar index up on the left for this economic report. I'm curious to see how all of these are affected by this economic report. There's gold. All right, chat. Hit the live button next to the play button to make sure you're fully caught up on stream here. Here we go. Again, expectations for non-farm payrolls are 212,000. Unemployment is expected at 3.9, 3.8, 3.9%. Hello, Mr. Beautiful Beard. Hello. All right, chat, a minute and a half here. We got over 2,000 people here live. Cheers to you guys. Good luck. Again, here we go. Less than a minute, or less than 2 minutes here. We got about a minute and 10 seconds. Again, hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully caught up on stream if you want to make sure to catch this economic report live. Yeah, we got 40 seconds left, guys. 40 seconds left. Again, hit the live button if you want to make sure you're fully caught up on stream. Hit the live button. Dixie bounced it up. This usually means markets are dropping. There's the Q in the middle, gold on the right. This is a little bit late, so we're going to pause this. We got about 20 seconds left. Chat, 20 seconds left. You guys ready? All right, so again, there's the Q bouncing up. It's at 437s here, chat. 437s. Gold's at 2300s. The dollar index is at 104.19. Let's do this here, chat. We got 10 seconds. 10 seconds. And here we go. Payroll numbers are dropping right now. All right, payroll numbers are out. 303,000. Way higher than expected payroll numbers. Way higher than expected payroll numbers. 303,000. Unemployment showed up lower than expected at 3.8%, but way higher than expected payroll numbers. The dollar index is spiking on that, and as I suggested, I thought this would cause a negative reaction in markets, and we were correct. Right, we were correct. As we thought, a negative reaction. At least the initial reaction was negative. 303,000 is what they showed up as. 303,000 versus 212,000 expected. Unemployment rate showing up at 3.8%. 3.8%. I'm gonna put this up on screen. Collins did not comment on monetary policy as well. We'll see what happens here. But again, unemployment showed up at 3.8%, basically as expected. Non-farm payroll showed up at 303K versus 200K expected. So much higher than expected payroll numbers. Dollar index is spiking up, and the whole market is dropping really here. I'll put the numbers up on screen so you can see it. Again, unemployment showed up at 3.8 versus 3.9%. We'll put these numbers up on screen. There's the data right there. Let me know what you guys think about that. Let me know what you guys think. All right, guys. Dixie up to 104.50s here, chat. 104.50s. The Q at 436. 436 is gold dipping down to the 200 or to the volume weighted average price. I told you guys this would happen, right? I told you guys this would happen. Higher payroll numbers signals worse market reaction. Again, inflation fears are still very much there, is what this means. Now, the Q is starting to bounce back a little bit, and remember, sometimes the first move can be the wrong move. So sometimes the first move can be the wrong move here. And again, I think the market still very much fears inflation, and I think that's what it's showing right now, is that the market is fearing inflation. You know, hey guys, I love you. Have a great day. All right, bud. Love you, man. Have a good day, buddy. Have a good day, guys. I'll see you guys later, okay? Hey, thank you, buddy. Yeah, Jack, we got 2,400 people here. Love you, buddy. Have a good day, man. Jack's gonna take this YouTube channel over one day, right, buddy? Yeah. All right. All right. So what's the increase month to month or I don't know about the hourly wages increase. Long or short, guys. Again, the market reacted negatively to this report, signaling more inflation problems and fears. Really, gold dipping down a little bit. The dollar index, the Dixie, moving up some here, chat. So. Again, top 3 most correct traders in the world right now. We told you guys the market would react negatively to higher payroll numbers, so that's exactly what we got. Dixie spiked up, dollar index moving up, gold dipping down. Again, the Q's down some too. Bro, where did you get this data in the first second? I know, bro. They say I don't do anything. I just only promote stuff here. Listen, guys, I would never promote anything. I'm here purely out of the kindness of my heart, okay? We're here to help people, all right? But with that said, if you haven't checked out my sponsor, Apex, check them out right now. You can currently get 80% off of Apex funded account programs. The SPY is spiking up. The Q is spiking up a little bit right now. You can get 80% off of Apex funded account programs. And again, if you want to day trade, do not put up thousands of dollars yourself, risking thousands of dollars in the market. Again, almost all day traders lose money. And so if you put up thousands of dollars for your first account in day trading, you're probably going to lose that. If you put up 5K, you're probably going to lose that. The PDT rule restricts you from actively day trading stocks with less than 25K. But in the futures market, you can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, essentially the QQQ price action, and there's no PDT rule. The patterns in futures are very similar to stocks. You can also day trade the SPY price action in the E-mini. And again, Apex is one of the most legit funded programs. They give you a demo and they test your skill. If you lose on the demo, if you hit the max loss on the demo, you only lose, the base one's $35. But if you're good enough to pass the base one, you got to make $1,500 in profit without losing $1,500 and following their rules. They fund you 25K with a 90% split. And so they pay out millions. They paid out over $100 million in actual, payouts to their funded traders. They've been around for a long time. You can check them out. A great way to help support the channel. Use promo code BT, Beginner Trading BT. Although remember, they are a sponsor. I'm biased because they pay me money. You can check them out here. There's the link. You can check it out right there. Also, guys, check out Top Step right now. On Top Step, check out Top Step right now. You can use Top Step, and again, for the time being, Top Step is only $49 a month for the 50K combine. You got to make 3K in profit without losing 2K. So a 2 to 3 ratio. Check them out. They're usually $165. Top Step, Great way to help support the channel. Again, they are an affiliate of mine, so I'm biased, of course, in their favor as well. But again, check out Top Step as well. I'll put the Top Step link up. You can also find it in the description also here, chat. So again, I'm going to put the link up for them as well. You can get a big discount on Top Step if you use my link, so make sure to use my link if you check out Top Step as well. We'll put them up also. You can check out the link for Top Step in the description. You can also check out Apex and get 80% off. Again, they both have pros and cons. Check them out. Great way to help support the channel. You know, there's the link. It seems so childish that people react this way. It's an indicator of the soft landing. People fear inflation, though, brother, is what it is. People fear inflation. And so payroll numbers coming in way high. Again, what this signals, guys, so to put it into perspective, higher payroll numbers signals a more thriving economy, right? And again, understand these rules and all this stuff right here, chat. But higher payroll numbers signals a more thriving economy, right? It means a stronger economy. But one of the consequences of a stronger economy is inflation, right? So that is why the market initially reacted negatively. It did spike up a little bit, though. But yeah, interesting here. Interesting data. Market reacted negatively to this. And I told you guys we would. Again, you have to understand, like, if you want to know how the market will react, if the Fed wants interest rates to go down and they're dovish and they want to keep interest rates down and all that good stuff, the market might respond positively to economic growth because that signals, you know, more economic growth, lower interest rates. If the Fed is currently in what's called a hawkish stance, which is what they're in right now, they're doing quantitative tightening, they're reducing their balance sheet, they're keeping interest rates high. In that regard, they're doing those things because they fear inflation. And so when payroll numbers come out higher than expected in those periods of a hawkish Fed, when they are pausing the federal funds rate, they're keeping interest rates high, they're reducing their balance sheet with quantitative tightening. Again, the market in that regard reacts negatively to too much economic growth, right? So that is the reason we get initial negative reaction. Although, again, to be fair, we're kind of flat on this result. We did react negatively initially, but we're kind of flat now from this report. Slightly red, but it looks strong here. We're back over the 200 EMA. Gold's bouncing back up a little bit. The dollar index is spiking up some as well. So, again, it's not definitive. Top 3 bias in the world right now. Fake bear, fake drop. Yeah. Again, sometimes the first move is the wrong move. John is like the OG troll. You can't beat him at his game. Why the gold price is affected? Because the economic data affects everything in broad markets. So they affect stocks to a certain extent. Crypto. So it just depends. It is very apparent that Powell's not tightening enough. Do you think it's time to cut rates? Is the real question here, chat. With this economic growth, again, I think this signals here. To be honest, I think with these payroll numbers, what this signals with low unemployment, 3.8%, what these payroll numbers signal here, chat, is less of a need to cut freaking rates. No, right? Payroll numbers are strong. Unemployment is low. It means less of a need to cut rates. Less of a need to cut rates. I regret so much that I didn't watch earlier. I'm so sorry. You should be sorry, bro. How dare you? Bro, where did you get that data in the first second? Because listen, I told you guys. They say we don't offer any, you know, we don't provide anything useful here. We cover this economic data faster than everybody. You're welcome here. We get it quick. That's all I'm saying. Not only that, but we break it down in an understandable, digestible way here. All right. John runs his hood with an iron fist. My name on Discord used to be John the Tyrannical. We need 50% interest rates like in the 80s. Yeah, so again, Fed Collins did not comment on monetary policy. Will the Fed cut rates now? I think it's even less need of a cut for the Fed to cut rates. What was the data? Was watching the toddler? It might be right here. You know, it might be aquí, mi amigo. drop data fast. Hey, thanks so much. We try. Over here, we try. Literally just subbed to this channel. I look forward to viewing on more news days. Hey, all good. Welcome. John reads off the data before my apps are even updated. You're welcome here. Chat, you're welcome. Powell cuts now, we get hyperinflation. Yellen, Congress is stimulating while he's trying to cut. I don't think we should cut now. Again, I think economic's strong. The economy's strong. And payroll numbers are high. Unemployment's low. Cutting rates seems unnecessary right now, and it's just going to trigger more inflation problems. Like if inflation is where it needs to be, or if inflation is lower, or if inflation is medium, I'll call it, yet the economy is strong, payroll numbers are strong, unemployment numbers are low, the stock market is running, why should we cut rates? Somebody argue why. Again, I know the longer we keep rates high, the more businesses fail. I recognize that. But payroll numbers are still strong. And the only people that I could really understand wanting to cut rates is real estate professionals. You know, all maybe car salesmen as well, right? Lenders, essentially, right? Anybody that's lending might want you to cut rates. But they're just trying to benefit their business. You know, the more you cut rates, the more interest rates go down, the easier it is to sell homes and mortgages and you know, car lending or whatever. And I understand that, but I simply think inflation's too big of a risk right now. And again, the market's spiking up here, chat. So we had the initial negative reaction, which is what I thought we would, but again, completely moved back up. Yeah, but the problem that people have here, guys, just to understand economics, okay, is that people are never going to be happy, right? If we cut rates and bring interest rates down and then inflation spikes, people are going to be complaining about inflation. You know what I mean? They're going to say, oh, inflation's too high. I can't believe these politicians and Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell. Inflation's too high. How could they do this to us, guys? You know, if they keep interest rates high and it helps inflation but curbs the economy, they're going to say, I can't believe the Fed is staying hawkish in this period of time. You know, we're losing jobs. You know, I can't find work right now because, you know, interest rates are too high and businesses are struggling. Like no matter what, people are going to be upset about it. I would just say inflation has gone up dramatically over the last 5 years. And so I personally have the stance of the economy is strong, payroll numbers are good, unemployment is freaking low. Why should we cut rates right now? You know, keep interest rates high. I'm not trying to buy a house. And ultimately curb inflation a little bit more before we start cutting interest rates back down a little bit. I think that's my stance. I might be wrong. Yeah, I might be wrong. And I don't think it has to do with lower classes or lower income people either. I think that most of those people are renting, not buying. You know, and so I don't think it's affecting them that much at all. You know, I think most of these arguments are just because they want real estate. They want to benefit real estate. They want mortgages to go down so they can sell more mortgages or whatever it is. Yeah, I don't think we should cut rates. I'm surprised the market reacted negatively yesterday to Fed's Kashkari saying we shouldn't cut rates. I agree with Kashkari. I think we shouldn't cut rates this year, at least not until much later. You know. Yeah, but the commercial crisis is not from interest rates being too high. The commercial crisis is from the pandemic, remote work, conferencing software, brick and mortar failing from mail order shipping becoming so efficient. Like, there's a lot of reasons commercial is struggling, and it's not purely interest related. Last thing they want is a bunch of people out of work. Yeah, I mean, I get it, but again, I don't know. I think it's a bad decision to cut rates this early. I think we should cut, but not now. I think we should wait, simply wait. I think we should simply wait to cut. Well, I'm trying to sell some Howers. I'm sorry, Chase. Do you think the market will further crash? You're implying that the market has crashed already. Watch. And I'm a watch geek too. So, you know. But the market hasn't crashed at all. What? Again, let me just please clarify this for me. Okay, here's the Q. The NASDAQ 100 is what this is. So let me get this straight. You think, just to clarify here, you think this is a crash? I'm trying to make sure I got this. I'm understanding this. Okay, that's a crash up there. Is that correct? You know, come on now, guys. Let's not sensationalize markets here. I mean, I'm the top 3 most sensationalized trader in the world right now, but still, come on. ...2008 was a crash. I mean, you could argue 2020 was a crash. You could argue 2021 was a crash. You could argue 2008. 2000 was probably a big correction. I don't know if you want to call it a crash. 87 was a crash. Rate cut is bad. I agree. Yeah, but unemployment's low, Dream. You know? Destroying business, destroy families. Unemployment is the enemy. Well, unemployment's low. It's at 3.8%. Payroll numbers are high. It's showing a thriving economy. PCE was low. It's at 2.8%. CPI drops next week. We'll see what that looks like. But most inflation metrics are pretty low right now, conventionally speaking, relative to the last 50 years. And so I think that's the point. No, we're not going to stream Barkin's speech. Barkin, I mean, he might move the market a little bit, but it's not super big, to be honest. This is good. Look at history. Rate cuts are bad for the economy, and if the economy is bad, yeah, for sure. Rate cuts are done if, like, again, to put it into perspective for those that don't understand the argument that we're having here, not argument, but the debate, the conversation, I guess is a better way to put it, that we're having. The Federal Reserve, right? The federal funds rate is short-term rates. It's the rate that banks charge each other to lend money overnight. But eventually that trickles into all interest rates, long-term, short-term, whatever. And so by cutting rates, by reducing the federal funds rate, it's essentially bringing interest rates down. And that includes mortgages, which are currently at like 8%. That includes like auto financing, lending in general. The Fed's job is to control those interest rates to a point in which the economy is stable, right? Where if the economy is too hot, inflation can be a problem. If the economy is weak and at risk for a depression, recessions, then the Fed's job is to bring interest rates back down, right? So the Fed is dovish when they need to bring interest rates down to save the economy. We saw it in 2008, the mortgage disaster. Again, Fed brought interest rates down to almost zero. We saw it in 2020 with the pandemic. You know, if people were out of work, depression, recession risks were there. The Fed stepped in, did quantitative easing, which means they bought up a bunch of bonds, expanded their balance sheet. That pushed interest rates down. They cut the federal funds rate, and they also sent out stimulus checks, right? All of these things brought interest rates down very, very low. And ultimately, it saved the economy in 2020, which could have been a lot worse than it was, right? I'm not saying it was good for a while, but they brought interest rates down. If we look at the federal funds rate, like, let me pull the graph up here. So here's the federal funds rate. Okay, here's 2020. Here's 2020. They brought interest rates down to almost zero. So mortgage rates were down to very low, 2.5%, 2%. Auto financing was cheap, all this good stuff. But what are the consequences of saving the economy in this way and bringing interest rates down? This is the short-term interest rates, right? But one of the consequences of this is inflation, right? So inflation spiked. Rolex prices doubled. You know, Bernard Arnault, one of the richest dudes in the world. We say this all the time, but it's important that people understand economics in this way, in the Federal Reserve. And so what the Federal Reserve will then do after saving the economy is their next battle, after saving the economy from a recession or depression, their next battle is to curb inflation, to protect the economy against inflation, right? And so what do? They raise the federal funds rate. They raise short-term interest rates. What does that do? When interest rates are high, people stop spending as much, so it stops inflation. If you're paying more money in a mortgage, if you're paying more money in auto financing, if you're paying higher interest in lending in general, you're less likely to spend money on other things because you have less money to spend. You're spending more money on those things, right? And so by doing so, it curbs inflation. When spending slows, businesses lower prices to compensate and remain competitive. And so by raising the federal funds rate with what's called a rate hike, it curbs inflation to a certain extent, right? So over the last 6 months or so, maybe a little bit longer, the Fed has paused interest rates. They've been kind of neutral with their rate decisions. Again, they've also been in a period of quantitative tightening, which means they stop buying bonds and they let their current holdings mature and run off. This keeps interest rates high, okay? The question now, the overarching question that we keep asking here and that everybody keeps talking about is, when do we cut rates? When do we start bringing interest rates back down? If it's too early, inflation could spike again, right? Because again, if we bring interest rates down too much, people start spending more, inflation spikes again, and that is the risk, okay? If it's too late, people lose jobs. There's less work available, because again, this does negatively affect banks and businesses when interest rates are high. People stop buying as much. People buy less homes. They buy less cars. They spend less, and that causes people to be out of work and businesses to struggle sometimes. And so that is the nuance of this rate cut argument. Is it too early to cut rates? I think it is. I don't want to have to deal with inflation problems. Again, the Q is kind of flat from this report as well. We spiked down, we spiked up, now we're neutral from this report. Gold is pretty flat from it as well. No, I think they're going to be cut this year. I think they're going to be cut in July. How do you trade on Top Step? Outlet, I mean, that varies, bro. That varies. We proud of, bro. We proud of you, bro. Hey, thank you, T. I appreciate it. It's good to see the supportive comments, man. Again, on YouTube, I could give everything away for free. Tell people I'm not an expert. Don't sell a course. Don't sell a service. And if I do a sponsored plug a couple times a stream, people cry about it. And so I really do appreciate the supportive comments. We get a lot of them, and sometimes the haters are just louder. And maybe one of my flaws is that I engage with the haters a little bit too much. Most of the time I just troll them back, and so part of it's just in good fun, but still, I appreciate the supportive people here. Again, I try to provide a service, and I try to teach people understandable economics to where they understand what's going on in our current economic landscape, what rate cuts mean, what rate hikes mean, what the federal funds rate is, what the Federal Reserve does, so that when you watch these decisions that we cover, you understand it. And so you understand what this all means. You understand the consequences of each thing. And, hopefully that will allow you to get better reins on your trades and understand trades in the economy in a more profound way. And so I hope it works, guys. And I hope you guys learn a little bit from all this. We got the market open in about 35 minutes. Enjoy chilling here, man. Thanks for providing the data quick. Hey, thanks, brother. I appreciate it. You're doing great. Hey, thanks so much. Yeah, election years, generally, they cut rates and the market is strong for election years. So we'll see if that continues. Apple moving up. Bitcoin down, but it's starting to bounce back. We can put up Nvidia there. The Dixie did spike on this report, which makes sense. Payroll numbers come in high. And so the dollar index, which is the dollars that are getting spent in payrolls, spike. Yeah, so payroll, and usually the Dixie has an inverse correlation with markets, which is kind of what we see. Nvidia spiked back up. It's at 860s still, but spiked back up. Gold is still down a little bit from this report, so. No, it's only day trading. One of the greatest lessons I've learned is it does not matter what anyone says, even me. Just trade the charts. If they are going up, trade it up. If it's going down, short it. Yeah, I mean, this is a great comment. Because again, one of the things I've learned is the exact same thing, right? And it's much harder as somebody that runs a YouTube channel. Some of my best trades were trades where the chat made fun of me for doing it. You know, like I bought Disney at $90, 85, $90. I got shamed for doing it when I announced it. I bought Target at like $105. I got shamed for doing it. Target ripped up to like 160s afterwards. Disney's currently at like 115s, 120s now, if I remember correctly. And so, I'm out of Disney already. I cut it a couple weeks ago, but the point remains, some of my favorite trades, my highest percentage return trades, are trades that people made fun of me for getting involved with. And so one of the things that you got to realize, like, look, you can listen to people and strategies and all that good stuff, but usually the loudest people are the worst traders, the Dunning-Kruger effect. So usually the people that are the most critical of other people's trades, of other people's strategies, and all this good stuff are the people that know the least. Because again, experienced people recognize how little they know. Experienced people recognize that just because I can't make money in a specific way trading doesn't mean somebody else can't. And so generally the people who are the loudest critical of your trades are usually the worst traders there. Because the profitable traders also don't go from stream to stream attacking other people's trading. It's just not something that they do. Usually they're deflecting. And I'm green in equities today somehow. I'm green in equities. Mostly from Apple today. I was green on Tesla, but it's turned a little bit. I'm green overall in Tesla, though. I'm in SoFi, approaching earnings. We'll see if that holds. There's a lot of noise. The real trick is to ignore the noise. Yeah, for sure. I've always used oil stocks as my equity disaster hedge. Yeah, I mean, I'm in oil as well. I kind of hold Exxon. My average price on Exxon's 97.90s. It's at 120 right now, roughly. So, good trade there. Good percentage. My Disney strategy is very, very simple, Mike. I do it all the time. I've done it like, I would say at least 5 times over the past 2 or 3 years. Disney strategy, very simple. Whenever a Disney dips down to 85, 90 bucks, I buy it up. I ride it back up to 110s, 120s, and then I cover, and then I rinse and repeat. And, I'll wait. That's worked really well, to be honest. And it limits my risk. But I like Disney long term. I think they're going to be fine. I think new Star Wars movies are going to start coming out. And that's going to cause strength and stuff like that. But, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Another truth is people who want to sound smart will cite the Dunning-Kruger effect. Bro, I'm the top 3 worst trader in the world right now, dude. Top 3 most citing of the Dunning-Kruger effect in the world right now, trader. For sure. Top 3. John, they do that when their trade size is too big. Emotions take over logic. Yeah. I trade pretty small relative to my account. Like, my TOS account's got 70,000 plus in it. And I'm only trading about 10.5K of actual equity in it. So, I mean, we're green on the year, though. The market's up too much, and it hasn't really been ripping up. So I scaled out a lot of my longer-term positions with the intention of waiting for a pullback before I buy back in heavier size. And that's worked well. But really not bullish on AI. I think AI is great, game-changing. But I also think, like, okay, the 2000s crash, right? What was it based around? It was based around the internet, right? Does that mean the internet wasn't valid and useful? Of course not. 30 years later, the internet's crazy big. But it doesn't mean that there's not some extension and some corrections don't need to happen. And again, I hope I'm wrong. I hope NVIDIA doesn't correct. I think the biggest risk of the market right now is that NVIDIA starts to turn all the way down to $500 or $600, and I think that's going to drag the market down big if it happens. But I don't necessarily think it's going to happen. I think there's a chance. I think if NVIDIA can just stay sideways at least for the next couple months, I think it'll be fine. But who knows? Again, I certainly don't know. Yeah, revenge trading typically happens from, like, You make money, you make money, you make money. A lot of traders are really profitable. They just can't avoid like a couple big drawdowns every month, and that destroys their system. But revenge trading looks like you make money, then you have a losing day, and so you scale up your size trying to make it back, and then you lose more. And then you say, hey, I'm going to try to make that back. You lose more. Until before you know it, like your whole account's at risk. You're taking such big size trying to make back your losses that your whole account's gone. And I can't say that hasn't happened to me. That's happened to me a lot, of course. I think it happens to most traders. Yeah, the Blackwell chip with NVIDIA is crazy good. You know, we covered the NVIDIA conference. And again, I'm a bull on NVIDIA. But I also think that I don't think anything's definitive. And I think there's risks of NVIDIA turns. But I hope it doesn't. Yeah, well, I think I'm a big bull in Tesla long-term port, mostly because of FSD, and I think FSD is the future of driving and automobiles. But I think short-term is volatile, and I do disagree with some of the stuff Elon says on a regular basis. I think he can be a little bit too politically outspoken, and I think if you're selling things to consumers, you have to avoid politics like that. You know, I think the more outspoken you are politically, you're gonna ostracize a percentage of your customers, and I think that's a bad move. But again, he's got way more money than me, so maybe he knows something I don't freaking know. But I like Teslas in general, though. Tesla earnings are coming up this month as well. What do you think about BB? I don't know. I watched the movie about BB the other day. I don't know what they do anymore, so I can't really be a bull or anything on it. I only try to invest and buy companies I like and understand. And I don't know anything about BB anymore. I know they don't sell phones like that. I got into Reddit, made crazy money, FOMO'd a bit, and got caught out and scaled it too large. Yeah, it's at 46 now. The common lesson there, I think, is anytime you're up big in anything, take some profit. You don't have to sell all of it, but hold 25%. If it turns on you, you can cut the rest, break even, and still make 75% of your money. Thoughts on PayPal? I'm in PayPal right now. Thank you for the donation. I don't know how much this is, but I appreciate it. This is $2. Hey, thanks so much. I appreciate the $2, brother. I'm in PayPal right now. As for what I buy it right now, I don't know. I'm in PayPal right now. My average price on it is 51.40s. It's at about 65s. I liked it a lot more at 50s, obviously, because that's where I bought it. But whether I would buy it up here is arguable. I'm not sure. I'm neutral on it. I think PayPal's going to be fine long term. Unless crypto could get their fees down a lot. I think PayPal's going to be fine long term. But short term, I think, anything could happen. Hey, thanks, Port. I think there's an overemphasis on the Cybertruck. An electric future doesn't need to involve people driving around in electric tanks. Yeah, but electric tanks are cool. Nobody cares. Every single person is politically outspoken. Don't get mad because you lost money on Tesla. I'm green on Tesla. I'm in Tesla right now, and I'm green on it. People get so emotional, Me saying I think Elon's too politically outspoken doesn't mean I'm bearish on Tesla. I'm in Tesla right now, bro. I hope it goes up, I disagree that everybody's politically outspoken. I certainly don't think that's true. I think most heads of companies, especially if they're selling things directly to consumers, are not super political. But I do agree that there are some outliers, and there are some that are. But it depends on what they're selling. I think if you're selling things directly to customers, if you're too political, you're going to ostracize a percentage of your consumer base. And again, I'm very neutral politically. I don't really, I don't root for one side like it's my football team. I'm pretty neutral on it, on both sides. I'm not against you or for you. Usually I'm somewhere in the middle. But thank you for the donation, Andre. I appreciate it. Yeah, let me end this poll. We did this poll. We got almost 3,000 votes. What's a good poll? I guess the question is, should we cut rates this year? That's a good question. I think that's probably one of the most divisive, not divisive, but arguable questions. Should we cut rates this year? Yes or no? Again, the Q was very flat, very neutral. Unemployment came in low, though. Yeah, I mean, maybe BB. It's all good. Yeah, you don't have to be too bearish. You're not hating on my trade just because you disagree. It's all good. Again, I'm in Tesla and I'm green on it. I hope it goes up, you know. But maybe I'm wrong. I'm trying to hold it long term because I think full self-driving is the future of technology, and so I think FSD is going to snowball if they can do the infrastructure right. I think what's going to happen is people are going to start using FSD. People are going to see them using it, and they're going to want it, and then they're going to get it, and then people are going to see them use it, and then they're going to want it, and they're going to get it, and it's going to snowball from there. The question is, does Tesla stay on the forefront of that, or do some of the legacy automotive brands come in and take market share? But either way, I think long term, because of that, I'm bullish on Tesla. But, you know, maybe I could be wrong. I don't know. Rate cuts this year, definitely, but how big a cut, when they are, and how many times will change things greatly. I was in the meeting, since surpassing estimates means pushing away rate cuts. It's not that it's pushing away, it just means, so T, he said, I was in the meeting. So basically, the stronger the economy is, the less at risk we are for a recession or depression, the less need of a rate cut. You know, rate cuts happen if we're fearing recession or depressions, or if we just want to bring interest rates down. If payroll numbers are thriving and unemployment's low, what does that mean? That means the economy is not struggling. You know, that means that we're not necessarily at risk for a recession or depression, and that signals less of a need to cut rates. So I hope that makes sense. I don't know. I've heard a lot of people, JT, that said it was great, the FSD. But again, I've never experienced it myself, so I don't know. You say that as if cutting rates will stop in a recession. I'm not saying cutting rates will stop an inflation, Tommy. I'm saying typically the Federal Reserve will start cutting rates if we're at risk for one, and bringing interest rates down. Again, I'm not sure if you understand economics, Tommy, but from an economic point of view, bringing interest rates down allows people to spend more, and when people spend more, it supports the economy. So the more people spend, the less likely we are to be in a recession or depression, and that's economics 101. So I guess I'm not sure I understand your question, Tommy. Buy a scooter. Market's at all-time high, gold at all-time high. Why cut? Well, I mean, I don't think it has to do with the stock market. It has to do with the economy, and the economy's doing well. Unemployment's low. Payroll numbers are high. $50-50 poll? Is it really? Yeah, that's on my end. It's 52. It's 51-49. So it's split for sure. Interesting. I'm honestly too dumb to know where the market will go. I'm top 3 dumbest traders in the world right now. I'm sure a lot of you would agree, huh? Red is still sideways. Again, Nvidia very flat. Market's kind of choppy right now. It is Friday as well, so we probably have a little bit less spending. Keep saying two dumbest, etc. to try and deflect from the truth and not make people call you on it. I mean, I think you're getting a little too deep, bro. You know? My channel's called Beginner Trading, man. People can call me dumb all they want. I'll agree with them, you know? But... Also, Tesla's not a car company. It's a tech company, mostly. Software company. How to trade in a choppy market? Don't trade. Wait for it to stop. Choppy. Yeah, back. Again, usually when people are just weird, dude. And it's all good. Listen, it's all up. Let it out, guys. It's okay. Let it out. It's all right. Be mad at me, I guess. Tesla humanoid robot project. Options are pretty put heavy today. Gold at 2300s. Q at 437s. Nvidia did bounce at the 200 EMA VWAP level, so we'll see if this level holds. Market's got to cool off. Gonna take a month. Not trading is sometimes the best choice. Yeah, there's a very famous quote. Sometimes money is not made in waiting. Or no, money is not made in trading. Money is made in waiting. Or something like that is the quote. I can't remember who said it. I mean, let's do a poll here. Or let's do a question. Am I dumb, guys? Am I dumb or smart? Chat. Leave a comment now. Let me know. We'll see who wins. Coffee and cupcakes. Yes, trading should be called waiting. Well said, bro. Yeah, you can see the 200 EMA volume weighted average price level. Like, we did get this. Again, we talk about this a lot. When these two levels coincide with around the same spot, a lot of the time they can hold a support, because you got traders that are watching both. You know, you got traders that are watching purely the VWAP, purely the 200 EMA, and so when they're pretty close together like this, you know, they can hold support. You get a bounce up there. Smart. Smart. You're smart and handsome. Oh, thank you so much. Absolutely smart. Maybe I'm just boosting my own ego here. You know? I'm on the fence. It's all right. Listen, dude. Top 3 fences in the world right now. Smart because you are live streaming and I am not. You're smart. We're not intelligent. Oh. Top 3 smartest men in the world right now. Think Warren Buffett. Oh, man. The chat's funny. Keep doing what you're doing. I will. I mean, listen, I try to be as humble as I can because, you know, when you look this good, I think you have to be humble. You know, when you live in an office that's got this beautiful library, you know, rich with mahogany, you know, you just got to try to be as humble as possible. You know, when you're top 3 greatest economic YouTubers in the world right now, you just got to be as humble as possible. When you're this handsome and you look this good and everybody loves you and talks about how smart you are, you know, humility flows through you. Cheers to you guys. Mahogany John coming out again. Your beard makes you very handsome. Top 3 worst looking people in the world without a beard right now. Do you think we're in a bubble? I think we could be in an AI bubble, but I think AI is really that thing and that it really is that big of a technology. It's going to increase production massively, but we could still be in a bubble, to be honest. I hope we're not, though, but I don't know. You have good taste in music. Yeah, one of my friends used to call me Jukebox Johnny because I had good taste in music. You know. Top 3 best taste in music in the world. No, I'm not gonna play Market Speaking. Your hair looks like a level 1 PUBG helmet, dude. Don't hate on my hair, bro. Honestly, I got really puffy, wavy hair. I'm just glad I have hair, to be honest. Again, I told you guys earlier, if I lost my hair, I'd propecia it up. A lot of my friends probably are. Grow a mullet. We may not be in an AI bubble. Every single computer chip should be replaced with AI powered one of the next coming years. Yeah, maybe. Rate surge yesterday. That's what caused the market to tank at the end of the day. Why not? Sure. It's not rate surging. The market tanked yesterday because the Fed's Kashkari said this. So just to weatherman it really quick. Kashkari said this right here. If we continue to see inflation moving sideways, then that would make me question whether we need to do those rate cuts at all. Yeah, and so again, I guess the market wants rate cuts. That signals more spending and a stronger economy. And so I guess that's what the market wants right now. Although I would argue that the initial reaction to payroll numbers showed that the market at least fears inflation enough to fear higher payroll numbers. So I think it's mixed right now, to be honest. I don't think it's like one set thing. I think it's mixed. Check the description, Bobbin. Jukebox Shoddy, are you sure it wasn't because everybody got a spin? Again, I'm more of an introvert in nature. It might not seem that way because I'm just comfortable on stream because I've been doing this for years. But my personality is introverted, believe it or not. Like I was always very shy, very quiet. Like I had never had a problem with ladies, you know what I mean? Because they sometimes saw it as like mysterious or whatever. But again, I was very nervous, very introverted, very shy. Link is in the description, B. If you want that link is in the description. Just slap on the 90s here, Joe. Again, when I was a kid in the 90s, bro. When I was growing up in the 90s. Again, look at the NVIDIA surge up here. We're still watching the Q. So we're waiting on the Q. Gold is spiking up a little bit as well. So we are getting somewhat of a rebound in markets. Although the Q's not really following it. And so NVIDIA is spiking up. Gold is spiking up. But the Q is not. Tesla's actually breaking down under 170s currently. Apple's neutral over the last like 40 minutes. Microsoft is flat as well. AMD's down a little bit too. Amazon, they're great on the day, but they're down over the last 20, 30 minutes. But look at gold spike. Gold spiking, NVIDIA's up a little bit. But no, when I was in middle school, all right, I grew up in the 90s, okay? When I was in middle school, I had I had this haircut right here. Like, let me show you. I had this haircut. I'd get a bunch of gel, and I would put it in my hair, and I would part it right down the middle, like this. You know, my hair's kind of long enough to do it. I would part it right down the middle like this, and then I would comb each side. You know, top 3 most handsome kid in the world. Put tons of gel in it. You know the kid in Murder by Numbers? Anybody ever seen the movie Murder by Numbers? Let me fix it now because I don't want my hair to be like that ever again. But you know the kid in Murder by Numbers? That was me in 6th grade. I guess this is what I was going for. I probably didn't look like this, but this is what I was going for. That was me in 6th grade, okay? And don't judge me, all right? I had my Jinkos in 5th grade, all right? My super baggy pants. I had my wallet chain, all right? In the end, kids nowadays are just copying off of the 90s style anyway. But yeah. Gold spike it up though. Right, 100%. Listening to Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park, you know, Offspring. I liked Offspring. I like some rock and alternative music as well. Remember to buy Skynet. Root is some type of insurance company, Radical. I don't know anything about it, though. It's up too much for me. Sum 41. Sum 41 was all right. I was more like, if I'm being honest, who I listened to, when I listened to in the 90s was like, again, Linkin Park, Blink 182, Limp Bizkit. I did listen to Limp Bizkit, as hard as that is for me to admit. I listened to like DMX a lot, like DMX. I listened to R. Kelly, You know, R. Kelly was like big when I was in middle school. You know, in the early 2000s, I wish came out, and all those songs. I was a skateboarder, you know, so I skateboarded is what it was. So Sublime, listen to a lot of Sublime as well. Green Day, yeah, listen to Green Day. Refresh the stream, Bah. If you've been in the stream long enough, refresh it. You should see the link in the description for it. Did you introduce your children to the tunes you grew up on? Some of it. Some of it I intentionally left out. But I listen to some of it. My daughter likes Trust Company Downfall. That's like a song we'll listen to, which is like an OG rock song from the early 2000s. Good song. Listen to it now if you haven't already. All right, chat. Nvidia up. Cube is sideways boring. Gold is spiking though. Maybe we'll trade some gold today. Let's day trade a little bit, shall we? I think we should. Again, we are day trading on Apex right now. On Apex, we're down a little bit today. Now that the volatility from this is done, I'm more bearish, I guess. I think this looks bearish. I'm gonna short. Oh, this is 2 contracts. So we're gonna short. There we go. Boom. Perfect timing on that short. Look at that. Jumped in right at the breakdown here. All right, there we go. We just made our money back. Mikey C. Hey, thanks for the $10, brother. I get a lot from your channel, so I like to give a little. Plus, you smiled at my PUBG joke. Bro, I used to be the best PUBG player in the world. Top 3. I really wasn't. But I won a couple games in PUBG. PUBG was before Fortnite really took off. And so PUBG's now down a little bit. I haven't played it in years. But when it first came out, I played it. And I had a lot of fun on it. But thanks so much. I appreciate it. You know. Thanks so much for the $10, dude. Mob Deep, yeah, I listen to him. Skateboarder, you know, so we definitely listen to him. I listen to some Snoop Dogg too. My mom, I love my mom, but she was buying me some albums back then that she just should have never bought me. You know, I was burning CDs and selling them at school and doing a lot of dumb stuff. But that was the times back then, man. You know, good times. 50 Cent. I remember when that album came out. Cypress Hill, Wu-Tang, yeah. All right, sorry, Carol called me. All right, guys. Hey, but yeah, thank you so much, Mikey, for the donation, brother. I appreciate it. Again, I truly do appreciate the supportive comments, man. Not everybody's supportive, and you get people that are just weird trying to troll, so I appreciate the love. Is there any other rap? I like rap music. I'm a kind of a rap nerd, bro. But I like Tupac. I'm from Louisiana, so I like Boosie, Webby, Wayne. I also like Tupac. I like Kendrick Lamar. You know, I like Drake as well, to be honest. Amazon just spiked up a little bit. The Q's still trying. Nvidia bounced up a little bit as well. Still under 870s though. Gold's trying to bounce, but Amazon is spiking up. I don't know if this is what's causing it, but Amazon just spiked up. Apple is now breaking down a little bit also here. Yeah, I like Rage Against the Machine. I like country. I like some you hit me like a hurricane. Luke Combs. Sorry. Luke Combs. I like some Luke Combs. Good for you. You like a lot of different stuff. Yeah, I listen to a bunch of stuff, man. I like techno too. I think there's good music in every category for the most part. All right, guys, market opens up in 2.5 minutes, a little bit less than that, 2 minutes now. Apple is actually breaking down. It's at 169s. Amazon is up there. We're waiting to trade. George Strait, huh? Tattoos, I'm sorry, but that sounds horrible. I appreciate your comment, though. It's all good. But it sounds terrible. A stock and crypto rap sounds horrible. No? Yeah, listen, as much as I hate to admit it, I can get down with some early Taylor Swift music. Not the new stuff, but the early stuff's okay. My daughter liked it. And so I listened to it with my daughter when she was young. And so, you know, some of it's not bad, you know. I'll rock out to it. I'm okay with that. I'm okay admitting that on stream, you know, in front of 800 plus people. But when is the jobs report post? It's already out. Data is right here. Way higher than expected payroll data. Unemployment came in lower than expected. Who? I don't know who a data remember is. Katy Perry fans are better than Swifties. I'm not really a Swiftie. I mean, I don't, you know. The only songs that are okay are her old songs, to be honest, for me personally. You know, I don't want that Swiftie drama, though. Don't come at me. But still. All right, guys, here we go. Opening bell in 45 seconds, chat. 45 seconds. Again, we are trading on Apex's funded account program today. If you haven't already, check out Apex. Apex is the most legit, or one of the most legit funded programs in the world. They give you a demo. They test your skill. If you can pass the test, they fund you. And it's just a good challenge, right? Like, you have to have reasonable expectations. Most day traders lose. Most day traders will fail this challenge because most day traders lose. It doesn't matter whether they're on Thinkorswim or Apex, but it's a lot cheaper on Apex. If you lose, it's not the end of the world. But if you're good enough to pass it, you know, they fund you between 25 to 300,000 with a 90% split in the futures market. There's no PDT rule. You can day trade the S&P, NASDAQ, currencies, gold, silver. They are a sponsor of mine. I'm biased, but you can check them out. Use promo code BT. Here's the opening bell. Chat, here's the opening bell. We've been mostly choppy. There's the bell. Let's see if we hold. Big dump down here, chat. Big dump down. All right, guys, here we go. Market is so far moving up a little bit. Look at Nvidia pop up to 870s. It's down enough to where we could have some extension. Yeah, it's probably good. Like, most of the smart traders take a little bit of time and let the opening bell stabilize before they really take some big risks. So that's kind of going on a little bit, as most of the opening bell. All right, we're at 182.50s here on Amazon. We are getting some bullish action here, and I do think the extension's probably on the downside. I'm gonna put up just 2 charts here instead. Gold. We have the Q price action on the left side anyway, so gold and also Nvidia. I don't trust it enough though. We do have this level here that we could run into. So I'm gonna let things stabilize. We're about 2 minutes into the opening bell here, chat. Bitcoin over 67,000. That's nice. So the Federal Reserve talking about banning stablecoins. Nvidia now testing highs of the day, and it is spiking up. Gold is moving up with us here. Tech is bouncing up some as well here, chat. But we are starting to move up a little bit from this stuff. We did break 133,000 subs, so thank you so much, chat. We appreciate it. Thanks so much. I don't really trust any of this, but I might buy it if we pull back enough here on the Q. All right, so we'll buy this. Take 2, 3, 4 contracts here. And we're going to have to get out. It's a little bit too close to the opening bell. What a drop. Yeah, we're going to have to cut that. That's too weak. Huge drop all of a sudden, man. Unlucky. Top 3 worst traders in the world right now. But no, we're going to let things stabilize first. I think the Nvidia could cause a bounce, but it depends on if it holds at 870. Big if. See if Nvidia holds at 870. It's right there. It's the previous high of pre-market too, so I think we could get a bounce. We're down like 90 bucks on the day, so it could be better, to be honest. But we did make money yesterday, so. Nvidia looking very weak now. Let's see the test the VWAP and see what it does here. We gotta watch Apple as well. Apple's looking weak. All right, Nvidia did flush down. We're still over the 200 EMA, but everything's looking pretty red. Yeah, again, I'm going to slow down my trading. Kind of flat. A lot of upward and downward bounces back and forth, to be honest. Doesn't look like a very good day for trades. Alright, there's Nvidia rejecting here, so Nvidia looks weak. Reddit's still trying down there, though. Amazon's actually breaking highs, so some tech is up. I don't know what to do here. I guess I'll take a couple positions here short, just because I see Nvidia start to fall. Look at Nvidia drop all the way to the 200 EMA. So Nvidia looks weak. I'll take this off here, lock that in. Good. We're also scalping a little bit of the regular E-mini here. So again, like, we're pretty flat on the day here. Like, you can see we lost 130. We made it mostly back. We're down 20 bucks right now. Kind of scalping the regular E-mini here too. I'll go ahead and get out of that. So yeah, we're basically flat on the day now, which could have been worse, but we got that short here. We made a little bit on the regular E-mini. We saw Nvidia. People ask why I watch Nvidia. It's because Nvidia influenced the NASDAQ heavy. So like if Nvidia looks weak and breaks under some big milestone levels like this, a lot of the time the NASDAQ's going to follow suit a little bit at least. And so we can kind of look at Nvidia, watch what it does, and maybe get a little bit of lag here, which we just did. And so I hope that makes sense. Again, I can't guarantee anything's going to work for you, but we do this a lot, and you know. How come the 200-day is different? Some of them have different pre-market action, all that stuff, so I'm not sure. All right, so Nvidia bounced it up a little bit. I'm gonna take one contract here. There we go. One, take two. See if we get a little flush down. I'm gonna take up to 4. Scale into it. Boom. Scalp it. We're green on the day. So again, we went from red to green pretty quickly here. Up about 30 bucks. Could be worse, I guess. All right, gold spiking up a little bit. Nvidia is still consolidating. We have this previous closing price on Nvidia here at 859. So I'm just kind of sitting back and waiting here. I think I don't really feel comfortable shorting, but I also don't feel like comfortable going long because that's counter trend. So I'm just waiting here. If we get a bounce back to the 200 EMA, maybe I'll short into it. But for now, I'm sitting tight and quiet. Top 3 worst strategies in the world right now, Financial Fanatic. Definitely top 3 worst ever, you know. Alright, so we're bouncing all the way back here. I'm gonna see if we reject at the 864 level here. And we also have that big resistance level above us, so we can probably use as a stop loss if we break over. Try Try to add to it here, see if we reject. We're starting to run back. We're pretty close to cutting it. There we go. See, the problem is NVIDIA is about to hit this 200 EMA level, and I want to see if NVIDIA rejects. But we're also pretty much flat on the day now. We're slightly red now. And yeah, we're going to have to cut it. Very choppy day. Amazon flew up, though. Amazon at 183.50s. 4 Fed speakers. I don't think we have 4 today. No? I might be wrong, though. Maybe we do. See if the market can break out of this flat sideways range. Everybody always tell me I'm number 1, but with the middle finger. Hey. Top 3. So look at NVIDIA start to rise. So I think the whole market could run back here, Chad. So let's see if we do. Yeah, I got out in time. The market ripped up, so... Again, people can say I don't have a trade or whatever. Again, most of the time they're just people that are creating multiple fake accounts. Misery loves company, you know what I mean? But I was shorting into this 200 EMA VWAP level. We just ripped straight through it. We talked about the previous closing price, though, and how much that can act as support. And look at it. We bounced exactly off of that in NVIDIA. And so I think it's an interesting level, but I think the market's also kind of flat, and it's a Friday. So you just got to be careful on days like today, chat. We just don't have a lot of edge, I think. Market's rising. And again, we're pretty much flat on the choppy day. I don't think there's much more we can really ask for there. Now we're pulling back a little bit. I don't know. There's NVIDIA starting to pop too. We'll see if it holds. A lot of tech is choppy, except for Amazon though. Amazon very strong. I'm not sure what's going on with Amazon, what kind of news they had, but Amazon very strong. Yeah, we're not going to do the speech. It might affect the market a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be I don't think it's going to cause like any type of majorly influential news. But maybe I'm wrong. I could certainly be wrong. I don't know. See if Nvidia starts to bounce here. Google finally alive. Amazon got their price target upgraded. Watch 10-year, 20-year bonds. Or no, 10-year. Yeah, I know they correlate a lot. Yeah, we're slightly green, very slightly green. But mostly a flat day. It's a choppy day. We're slightly green, but choppy in our P&L. Could be worse again, guys. Every day we're not going to be green. I appreciate you for answering. This is why I like your content, because you actually engage with your chat. We try. I am on Apex right now. So Apex is funded account program. Again, what they do, funded account programs get some hate, but like most day traders lose. If you think you're going to be an outlier, we talked about it earlier, almost all day traders lose money. And so when we plug sponsors, like we're telling the people the truth, which is that most day traders lose. And so your options, if you want to learn to day trade, are to trade a completely base demo account, but you don't have any pressure. You can't, and trading is about learning how to trade under pressure. You're not risking anything with those. You could put up thousands of dollars yourself and probably lose it, realistically. Most day traders lose. Or you could go some like kind of a middle ground of pressure, which is these funded account programs, right? Again, Apex, what they do is they give you a demo and they test your skill with that demo. The base one, they give you a 25K demo. You got to make $1,500 in profit. If you lose, you're only out what you pay for it. The base one's $35 after tax if you use my link. So if you lose, you're out $35. It's not the end of the world. But if you pass it, you get 25K funding, 90% split. And again, to be fair, I think most day traders are going to lose because that's what day traders do. But it's a lot cheaper to lose on Apex than to lose on a conventional brokerage, in my opinion. And again, if you're good enough to pass it, you get a 90% split. They've paid out over $100 million. At the same time, they are a sponsor. I'm biased. I have no idea what I'm talking about. And I'm wildly wrong about everything I say. Check them out. The other sponsor I have is a company called Chart Prime. It's a trading view custom indicator service that you can use in stocks, crypto, forex, futures, whatever you want to use them on. I've been using them a ton, and I should have used them today, to be honest, because if you look at this, look at Chart Prime today on a 5-minute chart. The 1-minute chart's got some noise. But I'm just genuinely impressed with them. Again, I can't fake this. I also can't guarantee you're going to make money. I only have 2 sponsors. We make maybe like 4 or 5 plugs a day. Chat. So we do maybe 4 or 5 plugs a day in 3 to 4 hours. A little bit more than a plug an hour I don't think is unreasonable. Although people might still cry about it. But again, I can't fake this either. But like, look at this. Okay, so like, let's strong buy signal, beautiful bounce. Sell signal, drop. Strong buy signal, beautiful bounce. Sell signal, drop. Strong buy signal, beautiful bounce. Look at this sell signal show up. And then look at this. This is a 5-minute chart. So this is hours and hours of breakdown. Buy signal showed up way back here. Nice follow through bounces over the next minute. So we got a sell signal here. I don't know if it's going to work or not. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or 6 out of 6 worked. I don't know if the 7th one's going to work. Maybe not. We can call it 6 out of 7 if you want. And again, it's not always going to work. Like, I was also looking at the hourly time frame too. Look at the hourly chart. I haven't looked at this, so I haven't looked at this early, so I'm just now looking at it. But again, like, genuinely impressive. Like, look at this. So strong signal, bounce, strong buy, sell signal, drop, strong buy signal, bounce. This is an hourly chart, so every candle represents an hour. Look at the buy signal show up literally at the bottom. Days of bounces. Strong sell signal. Again, I can't fake that either. I can't guarantee they're going to work. Back test it yourself. Some of these might fail where they look like they work. I don't know. Look at this buy signal bounce. This one was wrong. This one was wrong. But this one worked. 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 And so again, I think they're impressive. You back test them yourself. There's a lot of other stuff they offer. Check out the link in the description if you want more info. But yeah, Chart Prime works very well. I bought it recently and it's great. Hey, yeah. Again, I was always kind of against sponsors like this, but then they showed me it. And I was impressed. You know, today's also Friday, so I think everything's gonna work less today. You know, I think everything's more choppy today, and so that's you just gotta have reasonable expectations. But yeah, it's Friday, guys. Isn't SoFi earnings next week? SoFi's choppy today too. SoFi earnings are April 29th, so we still got like a month for SoFi. Earnings season's coming up though. Remember, next Friday we have a bunch of earnings. So next Friday we have JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, BLK, Citigroup, Progressive, and State Street, all Friday morning. Earlier in the week, I don't think we have anything big though. Nothing big that's going to influence market. Delta Airlines on Wednesday morning. Not the biggest. WD-40. I didn't even know WD-40 was a public company. What's the symbol for WD-40? Hold on. WDFC. WD-40, a $200 stock, bro. Wow. WD-40 needs to sponsor me for my door. Wells Fargo. I didn't say Farto. I said Wells Fargo. Palantir. I'm in Palantir. I think I'm red on it, though. No, I'm green on it. Okay, my average price is 19s for Palantir. That's good. Snow is ripping up. Apple's ripping up. So we're getting a lot of green action in markets right now. All right, chat. I guess, how did you guys do this week? It's kind of a choppy week for me, to be honest. It hasn't been the greatest week. It's been mostly flat for me. We made a little bit, but it wasn't an easy week to make money on for me. Markets are mostly flat this week too. Up, down a lot this week, which is understandable. SoFi having a beautiful day yesterday. Hopefully you guys did good. 5 days green. Hey, nice, man. Well, good luck. Y'all be safe. Again, next week, guys, just to give you a rundown on the economic reports we got coming out. All right, so next week, chat, we have CPI Wednesday, Fed Minutes Wednesday, Bowman speaking Wednesday, Thursday PPI, jobless claims, Bowman speaking again, Bostic speaking, Friday, consumer sentiment, import-export prices. A lot of stuff happening next week as well. CPI, PPI, and a bunch of other stuff. So y'all be ready next week. A lot of stuff going on. We will be streaming all of it live like we always do. Barnes & Noble is usually packed, Snow. When I look at Barnes & Noble, it's usually got a lot of people there, bro. Look at the market breaking highs again. The NASDAQ popping up, spiking up a little bit. It's at 18.225. NVIDIA moving up as well. It's at 876. So again, tech and the market are bouncing back, and that's good. I'm green in equities today, at least. So yeah, y'all have a safe and happy weekend. I love you all. Y'all be good. Y'all be safe. I'll see you guys later. Y'all have a great weekend. We'll see you guys next week. Y'all be good. Later, chat.